You're listening to FUBAR Weekly on KDSR, Demo Spin Radio, brought to you by ARC Network Live 365, the station where everyone deserves to be heard. The following program contains strong language and adult content. Listener discretion is advised. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
The fucking thing does suck. It always sucks. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. FUBAR Weekly Show. I'm half-assed disorganized, but probably better organized than I've been in the past couple weeks. Today is Tuesday, the 10th of March. The Ides of March are almost upon us. We'll introduce everybody, and then I'm gonna go on a rant and say a lot of whole bad things about people that fucking deserve it. So, first and foremost, my co-host, as usual,
hello,
the
and
lovely,
welcome.
the awesome, the talented Nicole Raven.
Welcome to the internet.
Anytime somebody does that with their hands, like in Disney World at the Monsters Inc. scare floor,
Yeah.
like the character comes out and says, anytime somebody says hello humans, you got to put your hands in the air and yell, ah.
Okay.
So that's reminded me of that.
Do you know what I think of?
What?
These are not spirit fingers.
These
are spirit fingers.
These are gold. Yeah, I watched that movie a couple times.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. It made me be a cheerleader.
Our guest this week is the amazing, the talented, the kick-ass Lilabelle Quaintrelle.
Hello.
Hello.
Lilabelle is a performer here in the Tampa Bay area and actually anywhere that she's booked because you travel
I travel
far and wide.
Anywhere that they're going to pay me to go, really.
Hell yeah, that's the way to do it.
I've been as far as Valdosta, Georgia.
That's not true. You said you were up in Hoboken once.
Oh, I wasn't performing.
Okay.
That
You're
was
in
for
Hoboken.
leisure, not for work.
Okay. Yeah, so Valdosta, Georgia, that's a hot spot.
Yeah.
There's one where they make onions.
Lots of happening.
No, that's Vidalia, and that's in Virginia. Well, wait, I can't remember.
No, Vidalia is in Georgia, and they
Okay.
also have onions there.
Oh.
But in Valdosta, I bought spicy jelly once at a roadside market. It was good.
Oh, okay.
That was random.
I mean, that's pretty much what you do in Valdosta, Georgia.
Okay.
If it's not the one time a year where Morgan LaRue is bringing her Star Wars burlesque show to Valdosta, Georgia, pretty much the only other thing to do is buy products of farming.
That's okay. Support the local farmers.
Yeah, it's agriculture and probably fornication.
With their cousins? Probably. It's Georgia.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
So the first thing I want to get to, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, is the widespread mass panic going on over this coronavirus, this COVID-19, as they're calling it. If you're out there stockpiling hand sanitizer and sanitizing wipes and toilet paper, you're a fucking idiot. Like there's no way around it. You're a fucking idiot. It's good to have those things on hand, but you don't have to stockpile them. I can see you're itching to say something. I could see it. I could sense it.
I'm exhausted from the amount of hype on social media. I'm seeing
media, regular media.
So many posts about people who are just ill-informed.
It's not so much ill-informed. They are ill-informed, but they buy into the bullshit hook, line, and sinker. It's not. There's no happy medium. No one questions anything anymore. It's like this virus is coming and it's going to kill everybody, and everybody's like, ah! It's.
You know what I always wondered?
What?
I feel like nobody had a problem licking random strippers.
They still probably don't.
I mean,
as long as she doesn't cough, go for it.
That's the biggest thing that I've noticed is a lot of the posts that I'm seeing going around about, take reasonable measures to avoid getting the coronavirus are things that really you ought to have been doing the whole time. Like, wash your hands after handling cash. Yeah, cash has always been disgusting.
I've been in plenty of strip clubs in my day. I know where dollar bills have been shoved, and I'm not just talking about rolling them up and doing a line of fucking coke off of them. I'm talking about like in there.
I had something. Miss K2 Lemieux, she shared something with me.
Okay.
About Deja Vu Strip Club here in Tampa.
Deja Vu.
With paid admission, you can now get a mask.
That's another thing. You know what? Masks are another thing, people.
So most masks protect from transmission, not reception.
Correct.
So it's a blockade for people not to spread whatever they have. It doesn't necessarily protect you from getting what everybody else has.
I need to put that into idiot terms for the world because they can't get the fancy words. People, those masks only work if you are the sick person trying to not spread it to other people. It does not stop you from getting it if you're around an infected person who is coughing and shooting little droplets of fucking virus at you.
Yeah, you still need to be washing your hands a whole lot and like taking reasonable measures.
You know what? I got to say, you guys, everybody wants to shit on President Trump. Everybody wants to blame President Trump for this. You know what? He's making America wash their fucking hands again.
Yeah.
It was a long way to go for that. But,
I guess if that's what it takes to get Americans to wash their hands.
But they will still lick a random stranger's ass. I mean, it's crazy.
Absolutely.
It's
and
crazy.
then I wonder why they have pink eye.
Yeah. But that's the thing, people. Wash your when you go to the bathroom, wash your hands. If you cough in your hand, wash your fucking hands. If you haven't washed your hands in a while, wash your fucking hands. Okay.
At my day job, they made a company-wide memo of a couple of things concerning this. One of them is we're no longer allowed to use reusable cups, ceramic plates, anything like that. So everything has to be in-to-go items no matter what.
Wow.
The other thing,
Greta Thunberg is rolling over in her grave and she's not even
like
dead
their
yet.
personal.
no, we can't accept anything.
Wow.
They said we can give it to them in a to-go cup and they can transfer it themselves, which is silly because that's counterproductive.
Right. That doesn't save anything.
Right, exactly. The other thing is that we were also told we are not allowed to tell customers to wash their hands, even if we see them in the bathroom not washing their hands, which is dumb. Because I saw a lady do that today, and I was just like, but I'm not. And she came. Then she came right back to the cafe and sat down and continued doing what she was doing, and it was icky.
Lilabelle was 100% right. This is shit you should have been doing. You should always be washing your hands. I always have hand sanitizer. Like, I didn't just go out and buy this and buy cases of it. This has been on my desk for a while. Why? Because I always use it. I have another bottle in the other room because I always use it.
I keep some in the car just for like when I go get gas and stuff. Yeah. And so the other day I was like, oh, dang, I ran out. And so I, ran into the dollar store and they're like, we're all sold out. Everybody bought all of it.
I went into Publix. I went into Publix today looking for hand sanitizer and antibacterial wipes, like the, Clorox wipes. Yeah. Pick clean. Absolutely pick clean. And Publix is limiting how much people can buy of this.
That's ridiculous.
I'm glad that this didn't happen until after I moved because I really needed those Clorox wipes to do my move out clean of the apartment.
But still, I mean, it's good to clean. Thankfully, people are washing their hands. Great. And that's going to do a lot to help spread not only the coronavirus, but the fucking flu. Because the same steps to prevent spreading the flu are the same steps to prevent spread of coronavirus.
And E. coli. We should see a reduction in E. coli, too, especially in fast food workers.
Well, no, because people still licking asses. That's,
At fast food restaurants, they are?
You must go to the wrong fast food restaurants. I mean, some places have really good customer service. You go to Chick-fil-A, great customer service.
No, I don't go to Chick-fil-A.
There was a one of our friend of the show, Viper,
yes,
who was head of security at a nightclub that we all are familiar with.
Yeah.
They have a weekend brunch, and he had to kick somebody out this past weekend because there was a drunk gentleman who
the fuck gets drunk at brunch so bad that you get kicked out?
So bad you're not getting drunk at brunch, then you're doing it wrong.
I'm a hermit. Okay. So sorry.
He licked someone's bunghole without their consent, and that someone was a chihuahua.
Okay, so
and it wasn't even his chihuahua; it was somebody else's chihuahua.
Okay, first of all, how do we know that the dog didn't give consent?
Because he didn't go woof woof. Yes, please.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
Why? For fuck's sake, people! Why?
He got on his hands and knees and went. Blah, 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 blah.
Like, was it a bet? Were they like
I don't know.
Was it
I
a
didn't get-
Chad and all his fucking frat buddies are like laughing at him, throwing fucking 20s?
I know that the owner of the dog was not pleased because they didn't ask permission. And
How do you do, like? How does one properly ask permission? Can my friend lick your dog's asshole? I mean, what goes on?
Excuse me, madam. I was just observing your chihuahua over there, and I have to say that is a glorious butthole. I would like to just get your consent to lick that glorious butthole.
and if I was a chihuahua, I'd be like, woof woof, no way.
Yo quiero asshole licking.
You know what? And Viper could probably confirm this because I've been in his position. I've worked nightclubs, I've worked bars, I've worked venues of all kinds and events of all kinds. Just when you thought you fucking seen everything, something else tops it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've ever had to kick someone out for licking a Chihuahua's bunghole. Now, here's the other thing. Did he pick the dog up? Because like
I don't know.
Chihuahuas are small, so it's like this dude would have to get like down.
May I, when we have a moment, may I run to my car to get something for you?
Yes, if you stop at my car and get something for me.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you stop at my car and get something for me?
Sure.
Awesome.
I need a list. What am I getting for you?
Mine's the Ferrari out there. Just open up the driver's door. In the like pouch on the door is a purple box of douche flute juice.
Okay.
It says Moon Mountain on it.
Perp box. Cool.
Purple box.
What am I getting for you?
This is awesome.
I have a notebook that I wrote a bunch of notes in for the show tonight and
Where is
totally
it?
left it in my car. It's in you can just bring the whole bag up if you want. I have a baby Godzilla bag.
Okay.
Oh no. They say he's got to go. Go Godzilla.
I got that bag at
Mi
Stinky
casa,
Empire.
tu casa es mi baño.
Ew.
I said your
My
house
house-
is my bathroom.
My house is not your bunghole,
No,
okay?
bathroom, not bunghole. Wait, baño is bathroom, not bunghole. So anyway, back on track of the rant. You know, wash your fucking hand. This is shit you should have been doing since I don't know what kindergarten. We're told to, you know, and guess what? Wash your hands to happy birthday. How about rinse and do it again, just for shits and giggles? Just for shits and giggles.
That's been kind of my favorite part of this whole thing is
Like
like
teaching
all of
people-
the memes going around of the different things that you can sing for 30 seconds.
The one I laughed at was the intro verse of "Welcome to the Black Parade."
Yeah.
Like you start here, by the time you get here, you're at 20 seconds.
Yeah, like like every millennial ever probably knows that introduction, so it's a pretty
When
good
I
standard.
But here, you know, wash your hand. And guess what? Here's a fun fact, kids. If you don't have antibacterial soap, wash with whatever soap you have because it's better than nothing. And stop licking random strangers' assholes and random chihuahuas' assholes. That's fucked
That's the
up.
moral of the story.
That's the moral of the story. Don't lick a chihuahua's butthole unless you have consent of the chihuahua and the owner. That's like I've seen some fucked up shit in my life, but like that's pretty fucking bad.
I do have questions about the logistics of that. Like,
That's what I'm saying. The
Right,
chihuahuas are
because
short. They're
chihuahuas are-
low to the ground. This guy get all the way. Did he pick the dog up?
was someone else holding the dog,
True.
or was he down on his hands and knees?
True.
I feel like we have to know.
We got to get Viper back in here just
just
to
to talk to
talk.
us.
about the dude who licked the butthole of the chihuahua. This is what my life's become. This is where I'm at now.
I love the analyzing the logistics of situations like that. I was just having a conversation with my best friend the other day. She lives up in New Jersey, and I was on the phone with her, and I was like, you know, how many animals do you think that people tried to ride before they figured out that like a horse was a good one to ride?
Well, I mean, when you think of logistics of situations, all right, you know, you got to think size and strength of the animals. So, is that you?
That's me.
So right off the bat, obviously, you're going to ride a horse. A horse is going to look more rideable than a chihuahua.
Right. Yeah.
So-
So, I mean, yeah, obviously there's some animals that are going to be.
You know what's an even better thing to think about?
What?
Who was the first person that said, you know what? If I squeeze the cow's titties, we get some milk.
Yes.
Like who?
Well, I think that one is at least a little bit more understandable because the method was already in place. You already have baby cows that are suckling the teat of a grown cow.
It's gone a little limp. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get back to the cow teat suckling, Nicole has bought us a new desk ornament. Okay. And this desk ornament is a floppy, stretchable, squeezable banana. And the inside of it feels like really weird.
It's
like,
sand.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. It's printed on the side. It says sand inside or something. It's just, you can take off the tag.
Made in China. Fucking thing's got coronavirus on it.
Where? On the sand?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's from Florida. It's manufactured here.
Made in China.
Okay, the actual banana, the one that I have, it says like made in Florida or whatever it says.
Well, first, I'm going to cut this tag off so it doesn't rip.
Can I see your banana after you're done?
Yes.
I'm going to show you all the
It's
amazing
not-
things
it's
you can
not
do
my
with the banana.
It's our banana.
It's our banana. It's our baby banana.
It's Foo Bar Weekly's banana.
It's the foo banana. It's the foo banana.
Do you know why I like this banana so much?
Because it feels like a dick.
Do you know why the second reason I like this banana?
I like that was the first. What is? Because you can stretch. It's like Stretch Armstrong, Stretch Banana Strong.
But then wait. Oh, your banana is way less pliable than mine.
Maybe you got to work it out. I mean, you can't just grip it and rip it. You got to work into that. It's
Wow, this is yours. I feel ripped off because
Why?
my banana that I have at home is it maintains its shape better, and you have
Okay.
to smack it to get it back to normal.
Okay. Don't do that. That fucking hurt me. Ow! Stop! What the fuck?
Here's a banana.
Put it with the titties. Titty fuck it.
Excellent.
So we were
Excellent.
talking about getting to second base with a cow.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, I mean, your mechanism is already in place because you have baby cows that are getting milk from the mama cow.
Okay.
So then it's just a matter of we know there's milk there because we know that the baby can get it.
What about the Polish farmer that accidentally milked the bull?
Yeah, I don't have an answer for you there. I think that was just a cover story, if we're being completely honest.
But I learned once when I was younger that if you milk a bull, you make a friend for life. I forget who taught me that. I think it was Paul Rodriguez.
Who?
Funny. Comedian.
Oh, okay.
I think it was a line in a movie.
But so it would have taken them some time though to figure out that a horse was rideable. And there are other animals that are large and would potentially have the ability to what if someone was like, oh, well, giraffes are big. They've got 4 legs. They can go pretty fast.
There's clearance issues, low hanging.
Well, if you're out in the open, because you got to think this probably happened a long, long time ago. Because
there's still trees.
Yeah, I mean there are trees, but there are also wide open spaces because the giraffes have to be able to survive. It's not like they're walking everywhere, ducking and hitting their head on shit.
Well, no, giraffes evolved to be able to eat the food that was up higher that the lower animals couldn't eat. That's
Right.
why they exist. So there were trees around.
I just imagined a giraffe just walking in and be like, "Hi, honey, I'm home."
You ever see giraffes fight?
Yeah,
they whip each other with their heads.
I love giraffes.
Crazy.
I love them so much. They're like tall horses.
There's some mansion that you can book rooms in that there are giraffes all around the mansion and they'll stick their heads in.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm
Well,
booked
not
already.
so much
Done.
sticking heads in, but the Disney's Animal Kingdom Resort. They have rooms that look right out onto there's a savannah.
There's
all kinds of animal giraffes.
Yeah, that's cool.
I would like to give a shout out to Melman the giraffe who travels with the Florida State Fair.
They actually have a giraffe named Melman.
Yes.
That's awesome.
They also have one named Twiggy, but she's not as interesting.
Yeah. You know why the giraffe is named Melman?
Why?
You never saw Madagascar? That
No.
was a funny movie. You should see it.
Is that what his name-
Madagascar is a really good
Yeah.
movie.
Madagascar?
Was the
wait.
giraffe's name Melman? Okay.
I learned something new today. I actually have seen Madagascar now that I think about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ben Stiller was the voice of the lion. It was quality.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a quality movie. I
Yeah.
liked it. It
The
was
3
good.
penguins have pretty good bit humor.
They were fucking funny. If you have any poo, fling it now. All right, so back to the animal. There is mechanisms for everything. A horse obviously is strong, it's fast, it's big. So it makes sense to ride it. Cows are big. They're strong,
Yeah.
but they're not fast.
And bulls are fast.
Not as fast as a horse.
Not as fast as a horse, but neither is a donkey, and we ride donkeys.
But I think it then comes down to trainability.
Donkeys are super loyal and hardworking.
Yeah.
So that's why I want a
Bunch of
donkey.
jackasses.
You know what? I've met donkeys with better work ethic than some people.
Fair.
I've met rocks with better work ethic than some people. It's true. It's sad, but true. But the I think that's what it comes down to is just trial and error, I guess.
Right. So and the first time you try to ride a horse, the horse tries to get you. So it wasn't like it was a one-time success story and then they were like, oh, well, forever we'll just ride horses. Like someone had to try at this for a long time. And then the question becomes, how many times did someone try to ride like a lion before they were like, maybe this isn't a good idea?
I have a feeling that the answer to that is probably
Once.
a half a dozen. No,
Right.
no.
It's got to be at least more than one.
Because people are
People are
stupid.
stupid.
People are thinking like, oh, maybe he just didn't do it right. Let me try. Well, actually, it was like unga bunga unga unga bunga bunga.
So eventually someone had to be like, let's just rule out carnivores. Like, let's not do carnivores. Like the third time a hippopotamus ate someone, they were like, maybe not water animals.
Well, the hippopotamus eat people. They just fuck them up.
They can chomp them. They go chomp,
Yeah, 'cause
and they
they-
have like more
They have
pounds per
really
square
good-
inch
You know
than
how many-
anything.
like so many people
Bite
die
power.
every year
From
hippos.
hippopotamus attacks. Yeah.
'Cause
They
I-
look so cute.
I think that's what
are.
it is. I think that's what it is.
I like their
Oh,
funny
you're
little
so-
tail. They have like tiny little tail. What do they need that for?
You
I
never
don't
saw
know,
the
does
video
it-
of the hippo pooping? It like spins and like flings the poop around.
I've only
It was
seen
weird.
a hippo poop in
Interesting.
water.
Yeah, that's gross.
I love this show.
So
I love
I
Tuesdays.
we can't what we decided was in Mesopotamia, in ancient Mesopotamia, there must have been a council of people, probably like between a dozen and 20 people, who their entire role in the community was to observe all of the animals and discern whether or not they are rideable animals.
Okay, so lion, no. Hippo, no. Horse, yes.
Camel,
Camel,
yes,
Ox, yes.
maybe.
Slow.
Do we ride them or do we just make them pull
No,
stuff?
you can ride an ox. They're just not fast. They're super strong. So that's like that.
Okay.
They're very torquey. Not so much on the high end horsepower.
There are
Okay.
people who ride cattle too.
Oh yeah.
Like not just like bull riding.
right.
There are
No,
people
like
who
ride a steer. Yeah.
like train.
I think that's what it comes down to is trainability. Like horses are highly intelligent. Because you don't you ride horses?
do ride
okay, so
horses.
that's where so that's where this was coming.
I was actually riding when we had this conversation.
Seriously. but horses are smart. You've experienced that. And you're right. The first time you get on their back, they're going to, and that's not even something that's been trained out of, because when you're training a horse from young to be ridden,
Yeah.
its first instinct is get the fuck
Yeah,
over.
you have to back a horse when they're like 2 years old, because if you wait until they're completely fully grown, it's way more difficult. Like it's way easier to stay on their back and kind of boss them around and teach them that it's okay before they're fully grown and like have all of their strength.
That's why you beat your children when they're young, so they're not assholes when they grow up. I
Same
got it.
thing. It's the same thing.
But it's a damn good question. Damn good question. Nicole, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Ask your mom.
It's true.
No, I'm gonna go with the chicken.
Yeah.
I'm gonna based on my knowledge of the Bible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Praise
that's-
Cheez-Its.
That's what I would base it on too.
Of course.
Yeah, because somewhere in the Bible it says something like God created everything in its like complete form.
That's right.
Right.
So
And
But it does actually specify birds in the air, and chicken are birds on the ground. So there is still a question there.
it's
So,
true.
in the
It's true.
Bible, when Lucifer presented himself as a serpent, or actually a lizard, because then he sinned and made the fall of mankind happen, and God was like, "You're going to slither around in your belly forever." So that implies that he was a lizard first. Do you think that chickens did something bad that they can't fly?
That now they're
They're-
cursed to be on the
Yeah.
ground forever. I bet they did. I bet those little assholes did.
But chickens would have done it. Ostriches, emus.
Yeah.
All
All
those
those-
flightless
yeah,
birds.
All
Penguins?
of the flightless birds were probably did some shit.
Penguins,
and God was like,
penguins probably did some severe shit.
But then they made up for it because God was like, "Oh, you can't fucking fly, but I guess you can have the water thing."
All right.
Yeah. Well, and penguins are. Let's be real. Penguins
Oh, shit.
overall
Oh.
pretty cool.
Oh, your mom drop in some fucking knowledge. Chickens can fly. They actually can.
They can fly, but it's not like they migrate.
No,
They can fly
short.
like from here to there.
That's
They don't. It's like that's like saying
It's-
Batman can fly.
he just falls with style.
Yeah, chickens don't like fly far. They just jump up and
They
kind
just-
of levitate a
They
little.
have like a wing assisted jump. It's like a double jump.
That's
like
like
if you're in a
saying
video
like
game and
flying
you double
squirrels. Flying squirrels don't fly.
They fall with style.
They fall
Yeah.
with style,
Yeah.
gracefully.
Yeah, when I go to Ybor, you don't see like chickens, hovering above.
jump. Right.
You just see it, but you do see them in the tree sometimes.
Well, how do you think they get there?
They climb there.
But they don't have any fucking thumbs.
They can climb. They have talons. They can climb with their talons.
Chickens are a beautiful and amazing creature.
And delicious.
And delicious. Let's not forget that.
Like legit.
People
And their
are always-
byproducts are delicious.
Yeah. People are always like, how can you love kangaroos and alligators if you eat them? And I'm like, because they're precious and also
And
tasty.
also tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't eat a horse. I just don't think emotionally I could do it. But I'll eat
But
pretty
that's
much
because you
any other animal.
But that's because you have an emotional connection. I was talking to my mother-in-law about
See,
this.
but I don't think that's true because when I was a kid, we helped raise a lamb, and the lamb's name was Bo Peep, and it was a sweet little disabled lamb, and it had little splints
Oh,
because
shit.
its two front legs were contracted.
Oh.
So we like made it little L splints, and we butchered Bo Peep and ate her.
That
Lilabelle.
sounds delicious.
Lilabelle.
I know.
Okay, so
She was very sweet, but also tasted very good.
so Kara says anything can fly. It just depends on how hard you throw it.
Oh my God.
I like that. Chickens we have today have been bred to their current body heavy shapes. That's very true. Like you'd
That's
be
not true because the chickens in Ybor are legitimately wild.
No. They're not.
there
They're
a-
descended from.
Okay, then why haven't they reverted back to their like pre-evolutionary state?
Because you can't
Yes, you can.
de-evolute.
Sure, you can.
How? How?
I think
How?
the term you're looking for is devolve.
Thank you.
Devolve. Thank
What
you.
did I say? De-elevate.
De-elevate, de-evolute. Devolve. You can't unless there's a reason for it. Evolution is 100%
Progressive.
made up because the Bible's no. Evolution is 100% based on survival. So whatever is needed to survive. So if those chickens don't need to fly to survive because everybody's feeding them, they don't have to devolve.
Well, also it takes if you're looking at the generalized accepted theory of evolution, which technically cannot coexist with Bible creationism. But if you're looking
That's
at,
because one of them is true, one of them is false, and we're not going to get into which one's which.
really it's just a matter of opinion. There's no way to prove.
There's no science behind it. I mean, it's just
no,
fucking guesswork.
it's just like carbon has nothing to do with it. Anyway, it also takes like thousands of years for those changes to develop. So it would take like thousands of years of chickens being wild for them to change and evolve into something else or something new and regain some of those
Yeah. So that's
abilities they once
why.
had.
But your mom's right. We've bred them to that. And that bananas we buy in the store. Not that one. That one's special. But bananas are nothing like wild bananas that we've bred seeds out of. Watermelon, same thing. If you saw what a watermelon is supposed to look like, I mean, I'd still probably eat it, but it doesn't look like a watermelon we know today.
Oh, and it would be a lot more work. Like to eat a banana that still has seeds on it would be a lot of work because there's a lot of seeds.
And it
you
is
have to
also
take
not
out.
as
Yeah.
sweet and,
They're
so-
also very
And
small.
larger pineapples too. Pineapples that you can get in the store are enormous compared to what you can grow from an organic plant.
yeah.
Wait, do pineapples have seeds?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pineapples
so.
are actually called a compound berry. They're actually multiple berries formed into one.
It's you
Mass.
plant when you plant a pineapple, you just plant the top. So
Right.
the top you just cut off and you can plant it and it grows a new plant. But each plant can only produce one pineapple a season.
Right.
And I think it's only 2 pineapples a year.
Pineapples are delicious.
Pineapples are
They also
delicious.
have a symbiotic relationship with oak trees. So if you're trying to grow pineapples, plant them underneath oak trees and they tend to do better.
The more
Really?
you know.
Yeah.
Nifty.
Nice. I love this show so much.
We learn shit. We learn shit. Why do you have boobs on your desk? Because everyone needs to have desk titties.
Why
Wait,
don't you have boobs
Who
on
said
your
that?
desk?
Are they new here?
They aren't. She is new here.
Welcome.
Welcome. And I have tits on my desk because why not? I have poop right over here. Wait, there it is. There it is. Not Nicole. Nicole's not poop, but poop and a banana and the Travelocity gnome. I told you, you got a titty fogging.
Do you know how many people have touched these titties?
A lot. I actually got to
Yeah.
wash. They've collected dust. I got to wash them. Did you know you cannot make Jello with fresh pineapple?
Yes, because it will mess up with the gelatin and not let it set.
Correct.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Pineapple contains an enzyme that won't allow it to set. Pineapple is actually something great to marinate meat in.
Okay, wait, look, Lilabelle. This is my
They should be
favorite
real
thing to do with-
tits.
We've had real tits on this.
We've
desk.
had real tits on this desk. And mine.
Oh, it's too dirty. I can't do that sticky thing.
Oh, seriously?
Oh, that's just gross. That's just foul.
It is. It's,
Why? No.
I'm gonna clean these later.
It's yeah.
You clean the banana the same way, by the way.
Okay.
Okay.
So I gotta wash it and just get. This is fucking going nowhere fast.
Yes.
So let's get on track, people. Let's not talk about milking bulls and pineapples. Now I want pineapple now though, like legit. I'm gonna stop on the way home and get pineapple. But anyway, so Lilabelle is a performer. Burlesque. Hang on. Now what are we doing? There we go.
Okay.
Burlesque is her specialty, right?
Burlesque. I do burlesque, and I
Burlesque.
also am a pinup model,
Nice.
and I'm a producer.
Nice. What got you into it besides the fabulousness?
So I actually started out as a pinup model, just because I liked the look. I've always loved like old Hollywood and like vintage glamour, and like I loved watching Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire, like those dance movies. Whenever I was like in high school and had a sick day or something, that's what I would do. So I would just watch like Fred Astaire dance movies all day.
What makes those movies the best is the amount of talent they needed to have.
Yeah.
It's
so
not just acting, it's acting and singing and dancing. It's everything.
you had to be on the A list in Hollywood during the golden era of Hollywood. You had to be able to act and sing and dance, and you had to do it all pretty well because there was a limited amount of film. So a lot of that stuff had to just happen in one take. And if there were mistakes made, a lot of times they just got left in to the movie.
Yep.
So that's a really cool thing. And I'm still a big fan of old movies and stuff like that. But so I started in pinup modeling, and then during the rise of twerking, sometime in
Wait, hang on. You make that sound as if the rise of twerking has stopped. I think it's still up on an upward incline, I guess.
I'm not
I don't
denying that
know.
it's still at an
I don't-
upward incline, but now I feel like it's pretty popular knowledge at this point. I
Yes,
think
yes.
most people, if you stopped them on the street and asked them if they knew what twerking was, they would probably know. But sometime, I want to say in the early like 2010s ish.
And that was the true rise of
Like
the twerk.
that was when twerking kind of was up and coming, and not everybody knew what twerking was. So I was on some form of social media and saw a news article about twerking, and it led me to there's a burlesque performer whose name is Michelle L'Amour,
Okay.
and she's known as the most naked burlesque performer.
How do you become the most naked?
So usually in burlesque you strip down to like pasties and a G-string.
She goes less than that.
Or we have something that's called a merkin.
I know what a merkin is.
Okay. So like she is trademarked by like wearing very tiny pasties and like a very tiny merkin. So like she's exposing pretty much as much as she
You
can.
could see a lot of her.
Yeah, you can see
Gotcha.
a lot of her. So she had an act that was called Butthoven.
I've seen it. I'm familiar with it.
I'm gonna have to look into this.
She sits on a piano bench facing away from the crowd and has like a tuxedo jacket on
Classy.
and like a music stand where she has her sheet music, and sits down at this piano bench and then pulls her piano jacket up around the front of her so that you can just see her ass on this piano bench. And I think it's Beethoven's Fifth Symphony that it goes to, and she is alternating, squeezing her butt cheeks.
Nice.
In rhythm with this, like as if she's, leading.
I did. I sent it to
She
you.
sent it to me like that
with
quick.
her butt.
Yeah.
And
I will
like
watch
at
it
one,
later.
there's even a page turn choreographed in. So she'll be like left, right, left, right, left, right, left, and then like pauses and then turns the page left, right,
That's
left.
fucking hilarious.
So that was my first ever introduction or exposure to burlesque. And so I thought this was hilarious, right? And I was like, this is quality humor. I loved that it was playing on pop culture and it was nudity, but it wasn't
classy, tasteful.
Right. It was nudity, but it was tasteful, I guess is the right way to say that.
Or it wasn't gratuitous.
Right.
It wasn't
nudity for the sake of nudity. It was nudity that was serving some other entertainment value. Excuse me. So then I looked up.
I'm just enjoying it now.
I looked up Michelle Lamore because she has a YouTube channel. So I looked her up, and actually at that point, I don't think it was a YouTube channel. She just had her own website that she had posted videos on. So I looked at her website and I started watching her other videos, and her other videos were like closer to what we would call neo burlesque in our world. And I was just enthralled in it. It was this art form that I had never seen before. I was raised in a very strict, conservative, religious household. So I did not have a lot of exposure to things that were sexual. I think probably until the age of 14, I was convinced that in sex, your genitals weren't even involved and sperm was just passed through the saliva.
Were you Mormon?
No. No, it was just a really conservative household.
Okay.
So the more I started looking into burlesque as this art form, like I used to think pasties were just trashy. Like I used to be like, why in the world would you put stickers on your boobs? Like that's just trashy. Only whores would wear pasties. And then I started looking in when I started discovering what burlesque was and started reading about the history, I started reading about the, pasties as part of the history of burlesque. And I loved that it was actually this huge act of rebellion. Because burlesque, as we know it now, was born in the era of prohibition and censorship. So there were a bunch of laws and regulations about what a woman could and could not display. And women could actually be arrested for displaying more than what was deemed, appropriate during that time. And so the things that they couldn't expose were, their genitals, their vulva, their anal cleft, their nipples and areola. So
medical terms. We keep it clinical over here.
That's actually just a legal term.
True.
And so women, instead of letting the government and the regulation shut them down, turned around and said, "Oh, you don't want us to show our nipples because you think our nipples are just too erotic. We're going to decorate them. We're going to put tassels on them and twirl the tassels around to make them even more enticing and even more exciting to look at." And they did the same thing really with their underwear. Betty Page was the first person to wear sheer-backed underwear.
Really?
Yeah, she actually made a lot of her own lingerie. When you're looking at like the old fetish shoots that she used to do that were really popular in New York, she sewed a lot of her own lingerie because there was nowhere to get clothing like that. It was just so inappropriate for that era.
It blows my mind how, I mean, even today, like you still can't, women still can't go topless on a beach.
There's still a bunch of blue laws everywhere, even in Tampa. In Tampa, technically, you are not allowed to show your under boob or your side boob in a alcohol serving establishment.
Side boob is like one of the greatest things ever.
And many people don't know. Most of these laws aren't enforced anymore.
Well, of course.
They're old,
they're
outdated.
Still on the books, but they don't get enforced. But
right.
But the problem is they can still be enforced.
They can still be enforced. But even, for a little while, I don't know Roger, if you ever saw this, but Nicole, you might have. For a little while, there was a big trend going around in women's fashion where there were T-shirts that had like a printed bust on them, where it was like just a line pattern, but it was like 2 U's and like a line pattern of a nipple. So technically, those would be illegal to wear in a bar in Tampa.
Wait.
But it's a T-shirt.
It's a T-shirt with a drawing on it.
But it is an image of a breast.
Do you remember those like trashy beach T-shirts?
Yeah.
Okay, so how is that different?
What are the trashy beach T-shirts?
Like
they were covered though. They were wearing
some of them. I've
bikini.
seen naked ones. I've seen naked ones. The trashy beach T-shirts, they sell them at like touristy shops by popular beaches, and it's literally like an image, like a big T-shirt of an image of a naked woman on it. So like it would look like you were naked if you were wearing it.
Technically those are illegal to wear in a liquor serving establishment in Tampa.
Okay.
And actually the super short shorts where you can kind of see like the bottom butt cheek.
Yeah.
You mean the greatest shorts ever invented?
Yeah,
those
are illegal too to wear in a bar in Tampa
because they have underbud.
Because they show your buttock.
That's dumb.
I mean, they're not showing the butthole.
No, but that's not what the blue law is covering.
Yeah, I know.
And it is actually pretty specific about what it covers. And so these laws, most places, these laws are not enforced anymore. But a little while ago in the Tampa Bay area, there was a big push that was supposed to be the law enforcement was saying that they were trying to get a better hold on prostitution in the Tampa area. And they were busting strip clubs, bars, etc., and searching the premise on the basis of some of these old blue laws. So if they walked into the establishment and saw some bartender wearing a skimpy tank top that was showing some side boob, they would be like, well, now you're violating this and we have probable cause and we can search your premise.
Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
It's a big deal.
Free the nipple, man.
Free the nipple.
Hashtag free the nipple.
Yeah. It's really important for us to know in the burlesque community too, because we could technically be arrested for that. If we're performing at a bar and a cop walks in and they decide tonight's the night that they want to enforce the blue law.
It's frightening that laws like that still. I mean, it's frightening that laws like that still exist in 2020.
Right.
And we did a show a couple months ago. Actually, it was quite a few months ago where I was talking about holy shit. My brain just blanked on his name.
A show here?
Yeah.
I mean, our show?
Yeah. Yeah. Holy shit. Why he's a comedian. He's he killed himself because of the MF. He said cocksucker on stage and got arrested.
Really?
For saying the word cocksucker.
Wow.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's fucking amazing.
There are places in the United States where blue laws are still very heavily enforced, like
Texas.
Tennessee is another one that I can think of off the top of my head. And there's still a burlesque scene there. But I feel like that kind of is exciting and holds true to the roots of burlesque because they really are like coming up with creative ways to cover the areas that need to be covered. Like, so they will have to make more not just the pasties to cover their nipples, but they will have to make other stickers to cover their under boob. And they have to, like, their panties have to meet certain regulations. To cover up like their butt cheeks, and their anal cleft, which is your butt crack, has to be completely covered, and you can't even use mesh in those states.
Nicole, what's the best kind of pasties?
Pizza pasties.
Pizza pasties. We need to do this.
Okay.
I remember when I went to school in North Carolina, and I think at the time it was illegal for adult shops to exist. You couldn't sell sex toys in North Carolina. I don't know if this has changed, but it's like if the story and the whole purpose of the store is to protect the public from indecency and immorality. If you're going into that store, you know what the fuck they sell. You're going in there for it's not.
It's not like you're accidentally stumbling into the lion's den trying to find.
And it makes perfect sense that like I'm completely against any kind of censorship, but it does make sense to me that you would not put a adult shop next to a daycare or a church or a Toys R Us. That makes sense. I get it.
Toys R Us
I'm
next
gonna start
to
a sec-
Toys for Play.
Well, you know what? Well, you know what? Toys R Us went out of business, so maybe we
They're-
can snag
I
that.
heard that they're
I'm-
coming back.
Yeah, I did. I heard that too.
I'm gonna make a store, and it's not gonna be Toys R Us. It's gonna be called Toys for Us, like
Toys
with four.
for Us.
4
Yeah.
or
Is
Toys-
it going to be an adult shop?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, I'm on board. If you need help, let me know.
Okay.
Fun fact: the comedian Chris Roach, who he's a bigger comedian up in New York. He was on the show Kevin Can Wait.
Okay.
With Kevin James, the show they actually just canceled last year. He played Kevin James's brother.
Okay.
His start as he was getting into comedy, he was the manager of an adult shop in New York, the famous Expressions that I talk about all the time. He was the manager at Expressions as he was coming up into comedy, and one of the girls that worked there, a girl named Jess Colazzo, she became a comedian at Chris's urging. So 2 good comedians came out of the adult shop.
I'm sure they have lots to talk about on stage.
Hell yeah, they do. Actually, Jessica sings a song. She plays a ukulele and she sings a song, the song "Rude." You know, why I gotta be so rude.
Mhm.
She sings that melody, but the words are "Show me your butthole" too. It's fucking hilarious. Check her out.
That's I love stuff like that. And like Hustler was one of the first adult stores to not be like sequestered into industrial parks and actually have a storefront rather than
Really?
no windows or anything like that.
Hustler relating to the magazine Hustler?
Hustler, the sex store.
So, but was it related to the magazine?
I'm
even
not
familiar.
sure whether
I
it's
think it is.
is
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But they have obviously in their storefront, if you like walk past it, you're not gonna see a bunch of like 10-inch dongs in the Great American Challenge in the window, you know,
Or a
like
walrus dildo.
they have like their lingerie and their dance wear up front. So
Yeah.
but they have windows and it's like it's an open store. You can walk in and you have to be 18 and over to get to like the good stuff. But it's an open storefront. Because their whole mission was saying, you know, sex is okay. Sex is
Normalize
okay.
it, 'cause
Sex is human.
Everybody has sex.
Everybody, it's really important that we have sex. If we didn't have sex, the human race would die out.
True.
It's one of our basic human needs. And
True.
I really, truly believe that sexuality is the final frontier of feminism.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
I'll agree with that.
Roger,
Yeah.
can I tell you one of today's holidays before we leave this topic?
Tell me one of today's holidays before we depart from this topic.
It's not technically a holiday, but today's the 69th day of the year.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I thought you'd enjoy that.
We know my affinity for that number.
Exactly. You would rather be hot than put your air conditioner at 68 degrees.
Correct. My air conditioner is set to 69 degrees. And what's funny is like, you know, my daughter's young. My son, I think, now knows what it means.
I'm sure he does.
But like my football jersey number was 69. So there's you know, my jersey's hanging up and there's a sign that says I love 69. And, you know, everything revolves around the number 69. And my daughter just doesn't get it. She texted me this last night. And she's 12 years old. She's going to find out mighty quick exactly what it means. But it's still fucking hilarious.
You think she would ask Raj?
No.
Okay.
No, I think she's going to learn from her friends.
Oh, okay.
Hang on, there it is. So she went and took a shower last night and she timed herself in the shower for some odd fucking reason. And she sends me this. She takes a screenshot.
All right.
And I'm like, you know, she's like, that's how long it took me to take a shower. You dork. She's so cute. But she's the one when you had the dick and the,
Yeah.
you know, with the push pin. Is that a boy part?
Wait, I didn't put the dick.
No,
Somebody else put
Somebody
dick.
else put the dick. You
I put it lady.
Yeah, you put the lady parts.
I needed a genital equality.
Genitalia.
There is so I just recently found out that there is a company that sells clothes that are all like vagina themed. And like they have a design that looks like a lotus kind of like a lotus flower.
It was like
pattern.
the Georgia O'Keeffe paintings.
But yeah, well, Georgia O'Keeffe was a lesbian.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
She
that.
was a flaming lesbian. Also, she was colorblind.
That's surprise. See, to me, all right, 2 things I just learned about her. Didn't know she was a lesbian. Didn't know she was a colorblind. They didn't know she was colorblind. You know which one means more to me?
The
fact she was fucking
colorblind.
colorblind.
Yeah.
Right, because she was an artist and made incredibly captivating art in a
With
beautiful colors.
mixes of colors. Yeah.
Beautiful
Holy
color
shit.
patterns. But yeah, it was intentional that all of her flowers looked like vagina. But I mean, honestly, flowers are vaginas.
Let's be real.
Actually, not they are. They like
they
actually
literally
are.
But you are observing the reproductive organ of that plant when you're appreciating
And
a
it's
flower.
beautiful.
And it's beautiful, like vaginas. So
I gotta. I've seen some flowers that are fucking ugly. I'll just say I've seen some fucking ugly flowers. Ugly flowers do exist.
to each their own.
That is true. The corpse flower.
It's a pretty flower. It stinks and it's big, but
I don't think it's pretty. It looks.
I mean, everybody has a favorite kind of flower, just like everybody has a favorite kind of vagina. Like, it's okay to have personal preference.
Eddie K is saying section 14-96, female nudity for commercial exploitation. Exploitation is a subjective term. Seriously.
I saw something the other day that said, maybe I think I saw it on your Instagram is fire all the time, by the way.
Thank you.
So-
If you don't follow my stories on Instagram,
Yeah.
that's where it's at.
I think it was on yours, and it said, why is it okay to use sex to sell, but not okay to sell sex?
Yeah.
Because
Important question.
because the powers that be are fucking assholes.
You think this
It's-
is an ugly flower? That's pretty to me.
I think it's kind of ugly. I like bright, vibrant colors.
All right.
And as much as
I
I
like-
like a roast beef sandwich, I'm not gonna do that.
You're setting unrealistic expectations.
No. There's a
kidding.
difference.
I'm
There's
kidding.
a big difference between a little extra lip and an Arby's double with cheese.
Well, I think there's also something to be said for observing something for its beauty and, appreciating something
is that?
for
That's
its
also a corpse flower.
use.
It's,
That,
it's
like,
just exposed.
ign-
It's a corpse butthole.
That's
it
what
does
I'm looking
kinda
at.
look like a
It's
butthole.
it
I
looked
feel
like a
like
butthole.
I feel like that would trigger someone with trypophobia
Oh yeah, for sure.
because it's really that irregular pattern is kind
Yeah.
of skeevy.
Trypophobia.
It's
Trip-
the
Fear of irregular patterns.
fear
It's,
of like
like
sponges,
holes.
Oh.
pimples, beehives,
It
like things that are like
typically-
clustered holes.
Yeah,
Never
it's
heard of that one
clustered
before.
holes. It's said to have an evolutionary origin because of the things that can hide in holes, like predators that can hide in holes and stuff like that. But it's like if you ever, what are those?
The only
things
thing I've ever been
called?
afraid of hiding in a hole is teeth.
Like
you know what
stuff
I mean?
like that. Like people who have trypophobia would be fearful of things
Oh.
like this.
Yeah, that all of that shit is disgusting that you have on that page right now. It's
really?
Are you
gross.
trypophobic?
I don't have trypophobia, but I can very easily identify those things, and I do feel disgust when I see them.
Okay.
But it's not like some people will have like an innate. Yeah, that's really
see it.
fucking gross.
Oh, hold on.
It's why I can never be a dermatologist. It's just nasty.
Yeah. See, that doesn't. I look. Is that real or is that a fake photograph?
I have no
I'm sure
idea.
it's Photoshop.
But
Most
but
of those
it
things are
doesn't
Photoshop.
you see, it doesn't scheme. I mean, I look at it and be like that's gross.
Oh, that's
And-
fake.
Yeah.
So you do not watch Dr. Pimple Popper.
I do.
Okay.
I found that the people that are most grossed out by that shit are the people that watch it.
It's not
Well, I
for
mean,
me.
not
It's,
so- it's not
it's
what's
the
gross.
irregular pattern. Like most of the time, the trypophobic images that you see on people are photoshopped. Like Dr. Pimple Popper is usually like there's one or two pimples that they're popping. So
But
it's
they're
not
fucking
like
impressive.
I mean they're impressive and like I don't mind pus or anything like that. I just don't like seeing those clustered patterns, and it's not something that I have like an innate adrenergic reaction to. Like I don't get like sweaty or
You keep proving that you're
fearful.
like smarter than everybody.
She is.
She is. I mean, I'm not saying you're not.
sorry.
I'm not saying you're
Don't
not.
apologize.
I'm not saying you're not, but our audience in general are kind of like me, and you got to not use the big words.
Okay,
come on.
so
Come on.
I don't
only
want to
kidding. I
shit
love it.
myself when I see irregular patterns. I
Sorry.
just think that they're gross.
Jesus.
just think that they're gross.
Yeah,
I can get it. I get it.
Eddie was actually the one who sent me all of that information about the blue laws in Tampa.
Yeah, well, that's what he posted. He posted on here.
Is that what he linked?
Yeah, he said, I don't know if it's a link because I can't see it as a link on here,
Do we know?
but he
Eddie?
said section 14-96,
yes.
female nudity. Is that the city of Tampa code?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck the laws. Anarchy
You
should
know,
rule.
in the spirit of Alistair Graves, rules are meant to be broken.
Damn, I love that guy. Gotta get him in here again.
I also love him very much.
Yes. I wasn't sure if you wanted to go down that road.
Yeah, no, we have a very open partnership. It's part of our branding. We have our production company is called PGC Productions, which stands for #Powerful Glamour Couple.
Oh, damn, that's good. So to bring to that, I wasn't going to talk because I didn't know what I want to say. This is the other half of Alistair Graves, one of the greatest guests we've had on this show.
Woo woo.
It's now going to be like a competition to see who is more fabulous, though.
Oh, he was definitely more fabulous. It's not a competition.
He was over the top.
I might use more syllables, but he's definitely more fabulous.
You used more syllables. He used a little bit of more makeup. I think the funniest part of that was, I said something about how good he looked. And he's like, I'm the second best looking man in the room. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. It's fucking bullshit. But I appreciate it. But yeah, we got to get the both of you in here one of these days. One of these days. I know schedules and people are busy. I get it. I get it. But you're here now, so we're going to talk about you. So that's what got you into it was booty clapping.
Oh, booty clapping, yeah.
And I can see that. And here's what's funny. Like there are two things I didn't know were still alive until I moved to Florida. Like I come from New York, right outside of New York City, one of the entertainment capitals of the world. And I didn't know burlesque still existed and was popular, and go-go dancing.
Yeah. Oh, well, also both of those things are really prevalent in New York.
I know. Well, I don't go to clubs. I'm kind of a fucking hermit. So I've always been a hermit.
He didn't know that go-go dancing was a thing until he met me.
I've kind of discovered that burlesque is a little bit underground.
It does have a very, very underground vibe.
So when I first started, being a fan of burlesque after the Michelle L'Amour Butthoven, and I didn't even, Dita Von Teese was not even the first burlesque performer that I knew, which is most people who know anything about burlesque, if they only know a little bit, know who Dita Von Teese is. But I didn't even know who she was until after Michelle L'Amour was.
See, even I knew who she was.
I didn't know who she was. So I started, of course, that was like obviously the next person that came up on Google.
See, I knew burlesque existed to that level, but I didn't know, the underground, like the community that's
it's
just
hard
here in
to
Tampa.
Find local shows. It's hard to find local shows,
probably because of the blue laws
and Facebook algorithms, social media, because Facebook. There's so much regulation around it. You cannot actually publish an ad in the newspaper promoting a burlesque show because it's considered adult entertainment.
No shit.
Yeah, no shit.
We got to come up with a way around that.
I know. So I've been mulling that over. So if you have any ideas, let me know. But that was one of the things that I noticed too when I was first, kind of getting into the scene. I wanted to go to shows and I wanted to see more of this. And I had a really hard time finding shows. The first show that I finally found was not even a burlesque show. It was a pinup event.
Okay.
Hosted by Pinup America, which is a magazine that does not exist anymore. Rest in peace, Pinup America. And they were having their annual rockabilly party at Coyote Ugly in Ybor. And me as an underage pinup model attended the annual rockabilly party at Coyote Ugly, and I actually competed in their pinup pageant and won first place.
Holy shit.
So, and like there's still pictures somewhere buried in Facebook of like me up on the Coyote Ugly bar with two big black X's on my hands because I was under 21.
Oh shit.
And like with a basket of merch, which is just like the merch that the bar pulled, right? So it's like PBR and like a Coyote Ugly t-shirt and like
but still
all of this shit that I should not have as an under 21.
But still, your first go at it, in that environment or in that type of situation, you come out with first place. That's pretty fucking
I
badass.
was really excited. It was like,
and that was
it was a really wonderful night. And so Latiz was performing during that event. And so I was able to see 3 burlesque performers perform 2 numbers each on the bar at Coyote Ugly. And that was the first time I saw burlesque in Tampa Bay. And once you kind of break open the doors and you start following the right people on social media, you start seeing all of the events. But it's really hard to break that surface.
And as I've been involved in, through Nicole and the shows that we did, I'm seeing more of it. And I just wish I could get out to see more of it live because it's awesome. So that's my advice to everybody. If you can get out and see these events, start following these people. Follow Lilabelle and get, introduce yourself to that scene, because it's amazing. There are some amazing performers, and just about every single person I've met that's involved with the burlesque scene has been so sweet, just nice,
That's
kind people.
because you've met good people.
Yeah, I mean, I try to avoid assholes anyway. I'm sure there's assholes exist everywhere, but the ones that I've met have been really, really nice.
Yeah. We're constantly battling with that too as event producers, trying to bring in new audience and trying to expose more people, because people don't know that it's a thing that exists, and people don't know that they have shows happening in their cities, in their communities. We have burlesque all over the state of Florida.
So is the problem with the promoters not being effective in bringing in the audience, or they're bringing in the wrong audience?
You're so funny. The promoters. We don't get promoters.
You are the promoters.
We are promoters. We are the people who promote burlesque shows.
The producers.
Yeah, so the producers pretty much.
Wrong industry. Ball busters.
The people who we rely on, the producers and the performers that are booked in the event and the venue to try to promote our event, to try to share it on social media. And social media has helped us a lot. I couldn't imagine trying to drum up an audience to a live event without social media.
Imagine how they did it back in the day.
I know. Well, you would have had to be pounding pavement all day and just handing out crap tons of flyers. And honestly,
didn't we do that?
Yeah.
So Alistair and I, when we produced Vintage Variety, and that's been almost 2 years ago now that we had that show last in Tampa. It was in Ybor. We printed out a bunch of flyers. Like, we had little handouts, we had big posters, and we went around to local businesses and posted up posters in local businesses, and we were handing out flyers, and we're doing a bunch of groundwork. But it seems like people nowadays don't really pay attention to that kind of thing.
What I've found in this city is people don't like going out to live entertainment, not just burlesque, because it's a struggle on the comedy end.
And this is something that I've been wanting to talk to you about for a while, is, in an era where so much entertainment is just a click away.
That's why, because they can see it from the comfort of their mom's basement, and they don't want to come out.
How do we get people to put their pants on and get off the couch and come out and see some great stuff?
Advertise free Wi-Fi. Like, seriously, I mean, that's what it is. On the comedy end, I've made it a point not to put videos of me performing comedy on YouTube. There are a couple videos out there, but not very many, and mainly because I want people to come see me live. I don't want them to see my stuff on.
So yeah, there's a huge population of burlesque performers too that rely on that like scarcity model to try to encourage people to come out. But if you're I feel like for comedy, it might be a little bit different, because most people are familiar with stand-up comedians. If they're not involved in the scene anywhere in any way, they probably have at least heard of the show of Seinfeld. Like, there have been many pop culture references.
I'm sure you ask anyone to name a stand-up comedian, they can name one.
Right. So in burlesque, I feel like we have a little bit of a challenge, because there's a lot of people who don't even know what burlesque is.
Well, because the scene is mainly underground.
Right. So does it help that we don't have any media online? If you can't see a video, if you're trying to decide whether or not to go out to a burlesque show and you can't find any video of what burlesque is online.
I think video online would help burlesque. One of the biggest differences between comedy and almost any other art form, if I had a band, I could do cover songs, and people would think that was great if I was able to play them well. As a comedian, you have to do everything you're doing is 100% original.
Oh yeah.
How many different songs do you dance to? Do a burlesque performance to? Several. Probably a lot. Yeah. Possibly a metric fuck ton.
Possibly.
So
depending on how long you've been in the scene.
well, but the fact of the matter is, you could choreograph a routine. You almost went on your hair.
I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I just wasn't expecting that chair to be back.
You can lock it if you'd like. but you can almost choreograph a routine to any song, not literally any song, but
anything that has a good walking
anything
bass.
anything that's got the right beat, you can do a dance to. So
from Beethoven to Flo Rida.
There you go. But so you could put you don't perform to the same song every time.
No. No.
I mean, I'm sure you have like the ones that are like your core
signature acts.
Yeah. But you could put up, a non-signature, song as an example. With comedians, the most comedians don't have, 10 hours worth of material, 20 hours, 100 hours worth of material. Most comedians are working with an hour or two of material.
Do you have like, I forget what the language is, like a hot five or something like that, where you
Tight
just
five.
Do you could you put that out?
I could, and I could probably put together a 5-minute set of my biggest hitters and just put that out as an example. I could do that, but I try to change up some of my material. I mean, Nicole's seen me perform. Every set I do isn't exactly the same,
Right.
but there are some jokes I do every time because those are the ones that people like.
I broke it.
I can't
What?
believe you.
Let me see that.
No,
Let me say it.
I broke it.
You
say it.
I broke it. There's sand. Look.
And this is what I'm worried about happening with those titties, okay? Because that's dry. That's got some fucking funky ass.
Some gelatinous.
Let me just tell
No, hang
you.
on. Give me this one. Look at this.
It's got China water inside.
It's got China water in it. That's kind of milky looking. Exactly. And she keeps slapping these around. I'm waiting for them to burst. I'm afraid the nipple's starting to pull up on this one.
Well, if it leaks anywhere, it's going to be the nipple.
Can I have
True.
the tag back? Because I'm straight up going to take this back because this one is defective because I have one that I have masticated many times and it did not break on the
Masticated. That's a
chewed on
good
it?
SAT word. See, I'm
hang
not
on.
the smartest one here.
There were 2 tags for some reason.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm going to take this back. I'm going to be like, excuse me, Walgreens. I need my $4 back.
I was abusing the shit out of this banana, and your luck that manager watches the show. Like, fuck you. I saw you slapping it.
Well, you know what? If the Walgreens manager is watching the show, then more power to them because that's one other view for us. High five, people watching.
High five, people watching.
But like I was saying, I could put a tight 5 up on the internet to try and entice people to come in. But some people would be like, oh, I already saw him. I don't need to see him again. So that's another.
Well, and that's always the question.
And one thing that's helped me draw an audience and a lot of comics, and I talk shit about the comics in this market all the time.
There's good people and bad people in every market.
True. But what I think a lot of people in this market fail at is trying to reach an audience and cultivate an audience. A lot of them, you listen to the show, so you've heard me say this. They share the posters, the flyers to their comedian friends and their comedian groups. You got to branch out beyond that because your comedian friends aren't paying money to come see you.
Well, that's the thing, right? So like you're trying to reach new people, but how do we extend that reach?
That's something I have to give some thought about. We have to work on.
Because, okay,
offline.
If you're a comedian, you're probably, when you go out, you're probably going to comedy shows. A lot of your friends on Facebook are going to be comedy related people on Facebook. So when you're reaching out and talking about the shows that you're going to be in next, and you're sharing on social media the shows that you're going to be doing next, you're going to be reaching a lot of comedy people.
True. But the problem is they need to branch beyond other comedians, and it's reaching the common people. Now, one thing that has helped me, and there are probably none of the Tampa comics listening to this, but one of the biggest things that has helped me develop an audience is Facebook groups have opened the door to reaching so many people. And I mean, a wide variety, special interest group, things that, things I'm interested in and, that are not related to comedy, but have introduced me to a lot of people. And so when I go to New York, there are a lot of New York related groups that I'm in. When I go, people from these groups come to see me because they've seen me posting and making jokes. And, I'm not an asshole for the most part. You know, so people
Really?
yeah, I mean it happens. It happens. I get paid to be an asshole. But you know, they're intrigued, they're engaged, so they come to see. So I don't know if there's a way to translate that. I have an idea that I'm actually not going to talk about on the air,
Okay.
but I'll show you something after the show that may work for you. And there's a reason why I don't want to share it. So if you don't like it, you can go fuck yourself, people.
Sounds neat.
Yeah, but that you're right, and that is an obstacle to attract the audience. And in this town, just trying to get people out.
Trying to get people outdoors is a challenge, especially when it's like, okay, you consider, even if your tickets aren't that expensive, which in the burlesque world, inexpensive tickets are probably like $10 to come see a show, right? You can get a month of Netflix streaming for $7, and it's unlimited media.
Yep.
So it's
to
hard to compete with that. But on the other hand, you know, people are buying tickets to go see bands live. And you can buy a CD. You can buy a CD and listen to all of the music that those bands have to offer on a CD.
So it's getting people to make that connection.
There has to be something, like, it's proven, right? If you're taking that example and extrapolating that data, it's proven that there is something more and something additional that you get from being at a live show.
I think one of the obstacles that burlesque faces is due to the fact that it is looked at as adult entertainment.
Yeah, there are a lot of stigmas surrounding burlesque. Actually, my parents don't even know that I do burlesque.
How the fuck do they not know? Like how the fuck do they?
I have them blocked on Facebook. Step 1.
All right, noted.
I don't really talk about it. The first time that I wanted to go, that I discussed going to see a burlesque show, I was actually inviting my sister out because Suicide Girls were touring and they were coming to Tampa with their Black Hearts Burlesque tour.
Okay.
And I was inviting my sister, who kind of has an aspiration to be a Suicide Girl, but like doesn't want to do the whole Suicide Girl shtick, but like she's very attractive and has tattoos and is kind of like that alternative look, and she is a model as well.
Okay.
I was inviting her out to see the Suicide Girls, and I hadn't seen her in a while, and it was one of those things that we were all at the dinner table with my parents, and it just came into my brain, and I wanted to ask her before I forgot. And I didn't really think about my parents having any opinion about it. And I was like, oh, hey, do you want to go see Suicide Girls? Black Heart Burlesque is coming to town. Do you want to go with me to see that? And then my dad pulled me aside and had like a whole conversation with me about how he didn't expect that from me. And my sister has always been the black sheep. Like, she has tattoos. She went to New York City. Like, she's a
rebel.
She's a musician. Like, she just has always kind of been the rebel and the black sheep of the family. So he's like, I expected that from your sister, but I wouldn't have expected it from you, which I'm like the youngest. And like,
that's when you kind of look at him, bat the eyes, and Daddy, you have no fucking idea.
Right?
Nah, you don't want to give the man a heart attack. You did a great job raising him.
So I was kind of surprised, and I was like, why? Like, why do you think this about burlesque? Why do you think that's so? And he's like, I'm just disappointed in you for wanting to go see a burlesque show. I wasn't even doing a burlesque show.
I'm so glad my parents weren't like, and my father went to college to be a priest. He went to a Catholic seminary to be a priest.
Wow.
And I've watched that man buy a bartender's bra off of her.
Well, it's the difference between Catholicism and other religions, isn't it?
That's true. Plus, my dad was a bit of a psycho. I miss the guy.
Yeah, so I just kind of decided after that, if my father was disappointed in me for just showing interest to attend a burlesque show, they probably wouldn't be very supportive of me being a burlesque dancer, and they actually are not supportive of modeling either. So
that's a rough spot to be in.
Yeah,
it really is.
When I started going down that road of modeling, and I started seeing that my mom is, but my dad is very not supportive of that. So when I started seeing that, I was just like, you know what, this isn't something that I'm going to divulge to them.
Now, as a parent of daughters, I can see your father's apprehension in, you want to protect your daughters and keep them away from all the scary things. I get that.
Well, and that was a little bit of his point, was that it is that the women who partake in those activities are going down a self-destructive path.
That's not true.
It's not, but it's a common misconception. And in the specific case of a group named the Suicide Girls, I could see where you would draw that connection. But also, that's kind of what makes me feel like sexuality is a final frontier of feminism, because it is up to women to take back sexual freedom and say, this isn't men using us. This isn't society taking advantage of us. This is us feeling empowered to have artistic freedom, to show our own bodies. You know, it's totally legal for a man to walk around topless. It's not legal for a woman to walk around topless.
And it should be.
It ought to be.
I'd fucking vote for it. It's
fucking hot outside. If I gotta see your nipples, you gotta see mine.
You won't see mine. No. Just because I can doesn't mean I should. I know better than that. But it blows my mind how in this country we say that we're so free, we're so and at the same time a woman can't be on a beach. I'm just using the beach example. Forget about walking down the street. I wouldn't walk down the street topless even if I was good looking. But, you know, at a beach, like a beach makes sense. You're topless.
Yeah, neither would I. I'd get terribly sunburned.
Exactly. You put pizza pasties on and you're good to go. But, you know, that nudity, sexuality is so taboo in 2020 America. It's scary that people exist that are still afraid of it. Everybody has sex. Even people that say, I'm asexual. That's either your choice or you live in or move out of your mom's basement. But it should be more open, like in the circles that most of us roll in. You know, it's not a taboo subject,
right?
You know?
It's typical,
right?
Typical. So there are
we're normal fucking people.
There are people who are asexual who don't want to have sex for whatever reason.
But that's a conscious decision not to, and that's fine.
That's up for argument too, and I don't want to get into that at all. But it's not the norm. It's not the majority of people who are not having sex. It is the norm to have sex. The typical person is sexually active. So why is it so taboo, and why are people so judgmental about it?
Tonight, folks, if you live in a warm climate, here's what I want you to do. I want you to step outside your back door tonight. If you live in an area where the sun is still out, wait until the sun goes down. Wait until an hour after sunset. I want you to step outside your back door, your front door, whatever your abode is that you're in. Step outside and just listen. And you'll hear crickets and frogs and bugs and all kinds of noises. All of those noises are those animals trying to get some fucking sex. That's exactly what it is. They don't make noise to eat. They make noise to fuck. So everything around you is trying to fuck. Am I wrong here?
No, you're right.
God damn right I am.
Every time you hear that,
even in this room, I feel like everything around me is trying to fuck.
You're not wrong.
I don't know. That Chihuahua's butthole looked pretty good.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Human nature.
No,
that Travelocity gnome has a look in his eye.
Oh, he's cheeky as fuck.
I like, now
he's undressing me with his eyes. Like, seriously.
Oh, is that what it is?
So's Nicole, apparently. I'm just kidding.
Well, he can just pay $10 and come see me at a show, and I'll undress for real.
There you go. Or hold out for the more expensive show.
While I do say my parents don't know that I do this, my parents do have a very well established history when I was growing up of being almost omniscient. They always
parents
knew.
Always know.
They always know if you're about to do something, or if you're up to something, or if you're planning something, or if you've done something. They always find out. They always know. So I do accept that there's probably a great possibility that my parents know what I'm doing, and we just have like a don't ask, don't tell policy.
Yep. Yeah, and that's fine.
I actually recently friended my aunt on Facebook.
How'd that go?
My aunt's cool. Like, my aunt is so cool. We all went for her 40th birthday. We all went to Destin, Florida. And they like snuck me into an AC/DC tribute concert that was supposed to be 18 and over, and I was like 17 at the time.
That's awesome.
And so she's freaking cool. and I'm a big fan of her. So she friended me, and she also at the time was working at a brewing company in Texas. And so I accepted her friend request and then just sent her a quick message on Facebook like, "Hey, please just don't talk about this to your sister, who's my mom." And she was like, yeah, you're a star. It's fine, whatever."
Sorry, I had to answer something. My mind, people need to get on board with the fucking times.
Yeah. It's 2020.
Seriously. Seriously.
Well, I just think that there's a generation gap somewhere or a knowledge gap somewhere where people, don't accept stripping as an art form.
I think it also has to do with people's, not being or not wanting to be judged. They don't want to know that they like this or that they like burlesque or that they,
Right, because what would the neighbors think, right?
Exactly.
If you were coming home late on a Saturday night and they knew that you were at a burlesque show, what would the neighbors think?
Listen, if I found out that my neighbor was coming home from my burlesque show, I'd be like, "How was it? Who'd you see?
How was it? Why didn't you invite me?
Let's
Let's go together next time. We'll carpool.
Yeah, but
I'll
your
be
neighbor's
designated
different.
driver."
Yeah, my neighbor is a little different. So.
But I got to be honest, to the people out there listening who've never been to a burlesque show, a burlesque show is probably a really great date night idea. I think it is.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And like, so this is a big thing that Dita Von Teese answers a lot in her interviews is like, well, how can you say that you're a feminist when you're stripping for money? And Dita Von Teese,
what's more fucking feminist than stripping for money?
And she honestly does not even answer the question in the way that, you guys just answered the question. Usually her answer is, statistically speaking, the majority of my ticket sales are sold to women. So when I look out at the audience and over 60% of my crowd is women, how can you tell me that what I'm doing is not for women? Women love burlesque. Women love striptease. Women love seeing high fashion. We love the glamour. We love the sparkles. We love the rhinestones. We love the interaction.
Do you think some of it is women like who are too scared to do it themselves, essentially living vicariously through the performers?
Absolutely. How you think I got started in all this
Okay,
shit?
all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And honestly, it took me going to a show that wasn't like the super spectacular high production value kind of show for me to think, you know what? I think I could do that. I think I could be on that stage and I think I could do that. And that's really what inspired me to take that step. And, now, of course, I'm like working on everything to be a more high production value. But like sometimes it just takes that step of like reaching out and being like, we're real. We're real people. With like, we have bills and we get blisters on our feet.
You don't work?
Like, we're real people.
You mean you don't do shows for exposure?
I mean, she does shows for exposure. Technically,
it's a different kind of exposure.
I gotta choose my words better.
This is why I love you, Nicole.
I love you too.
This is why sometimes when two people from two different industries, why the conversations don't always work out as well as you'd want them to.
I think this is one of our better episodes.
Oh, I think it's absolutely one of our better episodes.
I do a lot of exposure at my shows.
Different kind of exposure, but I like the way you kids think.
Yeah, but I think sometimes it takes that reaching out and just being like, we're human, to really engage the dreamer in the audience.
And I think that's the bridge to getting to attracting an audience is getting people to realize that it's not smut, it's not tasteless, it's not it's not a typical night at a seedy strip club. It's it's classy, it's entertainment.
Yeah, I mean,
it's sexy entertainment.
I'm totally for seedy strip clubs too, but this is
There's a
different kind of night, and there is a time and place. Like, I wouldn't get really dressed up and wear my nice high heels to a seedy strip club. Like, I would make sure that I had a lot of cash. And
because if you try walking in the front door, they'll be like, "Girl, dancers go in the back door."
Yeah, something that's not dry clean only. I would wear to a strip club. I would like. I love it. I love the energy. I love that energy, and I love like strippers. Like,
we should take a field trip to the Pink Chicken. That's what we should do.
The Pink Chicken.
The Pink Chicken. The Pink Chicken is the worst strip club I was ever in my life.
Oh.
Yes.
Tell me about the Pink Chicken.
The Pink Chicken.
Did you go during the day?
No, it was the evening. It wasn't very late into the evening, but it's in the middle of nowhere outside of Abbeville, Louisiana.
Okay, good start.
No. Abbeville, Louisiana, and Vermilion Parish is home to a lot of their population are oil rig workers. So these are guys, they go out, they work on the oil rig for 6 months straight. They come back, they got a pocket full of money, and they are wanting to see some females.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The only place in town is the Pink Chicken. Mm-hmm. It's the only strip club I ever walked in, sat down. The girls came out. We looked. We threw a couple dollars on the stage. We got up and left. It was just that bad. As far as entertainment quality and dancing, no. It was not there. It did not exist.
That's sad.
But what was the most shocking was what Nicole gestured was the one dancer who had come out had a C-section scar, which nothing wrong with that. What I did have a problem with was the doctor did not stitch it back straight. So the tattoo that the C-section scar cut through was a circle, but it was put back together like that.
Oh no, that's so unfortunate.
But it's just like, we're in the wrong place. We're in the wrong place. We got to go. Because the people I was with was, and they knew, the guys that lived in the area knew what we were getting into. And they didn't want to warn me. They wanted me to experience it for myself. And they're bastards.
I will say, if you go to like a typical, what you would think of when you think about a strip club, if you go to like a typical strip club, the way that the women connect with the audience is so impressive. I think one of my mentors when I was starting out in burlesque actually advised me to go to a strip club and just watch the way that the strippers were interacting with the audience and the eye contact and the nonverbal communication that was happening. Because there's so much to learn there.
Because without making a connection, the guys are going to feel isolated and they're not going to tip.
Right.
So that connection has to occur.
And there's a beautiful thing about burlesque that I think is different from a lot of types of entertainment. Is we have this like really playful relationship with the fourth wall.
Okay.
Like sometimes we act like there's nobody there and we're just on stage doing our own thing, and you feel like an onlooker, like a typical stage show would be. Like if you were watching a play, the people in the play aren't going to acknowledge that there's an audience there. They're not going to acknowledge that you're there watching them or a movie or something like that. But we have a really playful relationship with that fourth wall. Sometimes we're acting like we're just doing an act and we're by ourselves and, only interacting with ourselves or whatever else is on the stage. And then we just, kind of give you a glance and look over and like make eye contact with someone in the audience for an uncomfortable period of time. And then we get back to what we're doing. And sometimes we just shatter that fourth wall, right? Like we're just Deadpool, like punching that fourth wall in the face.
It's a fourth wall break inside of a fourth wall break. It's like 16 walls.
It's like 16 walls. And like, so we'll go out into the audience and we'll play with the audience and, we'll beckon for applause, which is something that's very controversial within the burlesque community. Like there's lots of things that we do to just totally shatter that fourth wall. But I think the dynamic relationship of back and forth that we can get with our audience makes burlesque a very special experience that you don't get in a lot of other art forms or live entertainment.
Having seen it firsthand, I have to absolutely agree. Now I got to tell you, you are now officially international. Maddie's in the house. Woo! Maddie, what is up, mate? Oh, Maddie, how's it going on in the land down under? Did you find some toilet paper? They're going fucking crazy down there, too.
Really?
Oh, God.
I mean, it's an international level.
There was a video. I think Maddie had shared it. There were two women in an Australian store fist fighting over a package of toilet paper. Here's the funny. You know what? Let me go back to that real quick. Hey, guys, guess what? You don't need to hoard toilet paper. You want to know something magical? Use a fucking garden hose. Sorry. Take a shower.
Wait. Don't they have
take your shits in the shower and waffle stomp the nuggets down the drain?
Don't waffle stomp, but don't they have bidets?
Maybe. I mean,
You could certainly get a bidet.
yeah, you can
If
definitely.
if you don't have one, you could get one.
Don't take a shit in the bidet.
No, that's not what it's for.
Also,
No.
don't use it as a water fountain.
Yeah, yeah.
Also not what it's for.
but that's the thing. And they were fucking. Oh, we got TP. We got TP, bro. All right, good. Man, yeah, I was talking about it earlier, man.
Comments are not on this at all.
Oh shit, K2's in the house.
Oh, Miss K2 Lemieux, I love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now officially a party.
Bitch.
Flooded the garage with the washing machine in the last hour. That's a bad thing. I hate when that happens.
Are you still going to work?
Well, no, that wasn't Maddie. That was Kara.
Oh.
That's my biggest fear is my washer hose breaking,
Oh,
especially if I'm not around.
been there, done that.
Yeah.
It was not fun.
I got to remember to change my hoses. I try to change them every year.
You change them every year?
That's
I'm fucking paranoid about them breaking.
Wow. I've moved my washer like 3 times at this point, and I have not changed the hoses ever.
Change them and go with braided lines if you can.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay.
It's worth it. Do you own your house? No. See, I own mine, so if shit breaks, it's 100% on my ass.
Well, I mean, it's my washer,
Yeah.
so I'm sure that
Yeah.
it would still be my responsibility.
Yeah. The good thing is it wouldn't destroy the washer. It would just destroy the building around the washer. So that's it. You got that going for you. I remember my parents' hose let go once, and the way it broke and the way the water was spraying, we were out of the house at the time. Thankfully, we got home shortly thereafter, but the pressure of the water like blew a hole through the sheetrock, like through two walls worth of sheetrock.
my old
now.
house that I used to live in, like in South Florida. That happened. The hose just like came because of the pressure, like popped off.
Yep.
And I was like freaking out. And I figured, thankfully, I knew how to turn off the water, and I did that first. And then this young lady fixed it with a metric butt ton, as they say, of electrical tape and plumber's tape.
That will work temporarily.
Yes.
I totally agree
Yeah.
with Miss Lilabelle's comments about breaking the fourth wall in burlesque. By the way, it is a wonderful art form. You're damn right it is.
Was that Miss K2?
Yeah, Come
K2
on.
is the bomb. Also,
bomb.com.
an
Yeah.
amazing burlesque performer and
Truth.
fire performer and producer
That.
and generally wonderful human being.
And
Truth.
2-time FUBAR Weekly guest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
Today's National Nap Day, by the way, guys.
Nice.
I didn't even get to take a nap.
I took a very short nap. Shark
know-
was very loud today.
You know what we didn't do yet? We didn't do
Okay.
20 questions. Do we want to do 20 questions? Or do you want to just keep talking about everything else?
Let's do 20 questions. It's our first time here.
Yes.
Wait, but one thing
What?
before we do 20 questions,
Yes,
because
ma'am.
Nicole was so kind to go to my car and get my notebook for me.
Okay.
And one of your followers on Facebook posted up on your page, ask her about this, and posted a picture of Marilyn Monroe wearing a potato sack.
That was Joni Warner. She was our guest 2 weeks
Okay.
ago. Yeah,
Good thing you took note of that because I saw it and just don't remember shit.
I did.
So I love that. I love that. And
How
here's
can you not though?
here's one of the reasons though that is very parallel to everything that we're discussing regarding burlesque is because so there's a couple different, it's when you're talking about Marilyn Monroe, there's a couple different stories for everything that she does, right? Like there's always different viewpoints. One of the less likely viewpoints is that it was activism for the potato farmers in response to Irish Need Not Apply advertisements to jobs. This is very unlikely because Irish Need Not Apply kind of disappeared in the 1920s. It was very prevalent in the 1920s, but by the time that she was doing that photo shoot, it was the 1950s, and a lot of that prejudice against the Irish had kind of gone by the wayside. So it's unlikely that was an activism in favor of the Irish. There's another story that says it was a response to a journalist saying she's only beautiful because of her fancy clothes. And so to prove that her beauty was not related to her designer clothing, she decided to take a photo shoot in a potato sack.
And if anybody could make a damn potato sack look good, it was
Freaking Marilyn Monroe,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so then there's another point of view that says it was a response to a journalist saying that she would have looked more decent in a potato sack after she attended a party wearing a red low-cut dress.
The scandal.
I know. So either way, if you look at the latter two, either way, I think it's a beautiful exhibition of rebellion from the women's side, because it's both in both situations they're saying, oh well, you're really not that beautiful, or you're really kind of you're working off of scandal.
Anybody in existence who would think that it was only the clothes that made her gorgeous, anybody who would think that is a fucking idiot.
Well, she was very nonconformist in her look during that time. I mean, okay, so there's all of these things that go around that say, oh, Marilyn Monroe was a size 14, which is true, but it's not a modern size 14. She was a size 14 in the 1950s, which I'm a size 14 in the 1950s. You know, it's more like a modern size 6 is really what it translates to. But if you're looking at the 1950s Vogue magazines, or you're looking at Dior or Chanel or the other designers who were very famous and popular during that time, their models were like a size 2, which is ridiculously small. They did not have curves. They were just very stick thin models. And so Marilyn Monroe was still going against the grain in having the curves that she having the assets that Marilyn Monroe displayed, and she did kind of take some risks in the fashion world. You know, when she sang for Kennedy's birthday in that super sheer dress.
Happy birthday.
Which by the way, if you're wondering what I'm singing during the washing of hands, it's Marilyn Monroe's rendition of Happy Birthday.
Happy birthday,
Mr. President.
Mr. President. Fun fact about Marilyn Monroe: where she is buried, or she's not actually buried because she's in a crypt at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Holy shit, Hugh Hefner spent a lot of money to purchase the crypt right next to hers.
Wow.
Another fun fact about that: he never ever met her face to face.
That's really interesting. The other thing I was going to say about the potato, that is really interesting. That's a new fun fact I'm going to add to my repertoire. So now when people are talking about Marilyn Monroe and Hugh Hefner, I'm going to be like, well, did you know?
And allegedly, the guy who's in the crypt right above her is face down in his casket.
I would be too if I was above Marilyn Monroe.
For reals.
The other thing I was going to say about the potato sack shoot was that the pair of high heels that she's wearing in the potato sack shoot, it's a pair of lucite high heels that are, the top is only secured by ribbon that actually laces through the lucite that the sole and heel of the shoe is made out of. And she loved wearing those for photo shoots, but they were too difficult to walk in for her to wear in most other situations. So you wouldn't really see her out in them at all. She wore them in one movie. I'm not going to be able to remember the name of the movie, but there was one scene in a movie where she was playing a model modeling a swimsuit, and she wore those shoes, and she almost fell down during that cut. And as we discussed earlier, there's not a lot of extra film, so it got left into the movie. And if you have a very keen eye, you can see Marilyn Monroe almost falling on her face in her crazy lucite shoes.
Holy shit, I have to check that out. I love Marilyn Monroe.
She was wonderful. A victim of an abusive relationship and just women's activist. Yep, those are them.
Let me see.
Wow. Did you know that her husband, after the really famous like 7-year itch scene where her white dress gets blown up over the subway grate, so her husband forced her to wear 2 pairs of underwear because he was afraid that, you know, it would be too revealing if she only wore 1 pair of underwear.
It's pretty fucking ridiculous.
And was insisted on being on set during that scene shoot, and afterwards beat the crap out of her, and she had to take time off of set to recover from the bruises.
What a piece of shit.
Same. Yeah, I feel
Fuck, what a piece of shit.
Same rules, different ribbons.
One of my most prized possessions is the reissue of the Marilyn Monroe Playboy.
Yeah, you have one of those?
Yeah, not original. I have the reprint. So we're going to do 20 questions? We're not going to do 20 questions. We have like 20 minutes. We can go as long as we fucking want. But
yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So do you have anywhere to be? Okay.
All right, fuck it. We're going overtime today, kids, and I ain't even worried about that.
I'm sorry.
I
Don't be
want
sorry. It's
these.
fucking worth it.
I
It's a
want
good
these.
show.
I want these shoes now.
They're beautiful.
I feel like I could walk in them.
The
What, those
thing is,
lucite shoes?
Yeah.
your ribbon has to not be stretchy.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because that makes sense.
Yeah, that shoe probably has zero give.
That's fine.
The lucite has, it's just acrylic, basically. It's just molded acrylic. So if your ribbon has elastic, then they just flip all over your feet
Yeah.
like flip
Yeah,
flops.
because the shoe itself has no flex.
That looks very uncomfortable. She has one of the ribbons going between her fat toe and her pointer toe, or whatever you want to call it, which is normal for like flip flops. But she also has a different ribbon going.
The
through
scientific term for that is the great toe.
the great toe because it's the longest one, usually.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
You ever see the picture of Mr. Rogers giving the double bird?
No.
Yeah.
It was 100% real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was teaching kids how to count.
Nope.
He was like 1 and 2.
Nope. He was doing Where is Thumpkin?
Oh, yeah.
So, Thumpkin, pointer, tall man. And when he does Where is tall man, he's sitting there going like this.
Well, what I was going to say is she has another ribbon going between her pinky toe and her ring toe.
She probably did some pretty crazy things to get those shoes to stay on her feet.
Yeah.
She has weird feet too. Like that was a thing about Marilyn Monroe, is that she's got like weird big feet, and like a lot of shoes didn't fit her.
She was fucking hot. That's all that matters. She's fucking
Oh
awesome.
yeah, she is hot, and also my feet are big, so like whatever. Big feet are the shit.
Do you think this is a real photo?
No.
You know what they say about girls with big feet?
Big shoes?
I have no idea. I know what they say about guys with big shoes.
They do better on FetLife.
There you go. Oh, shit. I should have expected that.
I'm seeing a couple of different versions of it.
All right. We're going to go to 20 questions. 20 questions, some topical, some philosophical. You know them all probably by heart at this point.
I wouldn't say by heart, but I'm familiar.
But let's give it a waxy. So, number 1, what is your non-alcoholic drink of choice?
Coffee.
Coffee. How do you like your coffee?
Black. I like my coffee like I like my space stations. Large, powerful, and on the dark side.
Nice.
Love you.
I like my coffee like I like my women. Hot, dark, and bitter.
That
man.
also meets my expectations.
There you go. All right. Number 2, what is your favorite color?
Yellow.
Yellow. I think it's the first time anybody said yellow.
Yeah.
Yellow has been my favorite color since I was in kindergarten.
All right, sunshine.
Well, she's always happy.
Yeah.
I mean, at least every time I see you, you're happy.
Oh no, I'm murderous.
That's all right. You pull off the happy well, and it's believable. So good job.
You're messing up my brand, Roger.
Sorry. She's a bitch. No, I'm kidding.
I'll murder you when you're asleep.
No, actually, that's one thing I said to Nicole. You remind me of a girl I used to work with up in New York, who was like extremely gorgeous, but had a legitimate, genuine, sweet personality.
Oh, thank you.
So that's bonus points.
I feel like Lilabelle could F somebody up if needed.
Oh yeah. Oh, so could Kelly. I mean, I've seen that chick fight.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Take off your heels, fucking throw them at shit.
No, take off your heels and fucking stab somebody with them.
Yeah,
that's
that's
what I'd expect. All right, back on track. Number 3, dog or cat?
Cat. I'm allergic to dogs.
Really?
I am.
Oh.
I'm allergic to cats too. It's just not as bad.
This one, I'm curious the answer. What is the strangest job you've ever had?
The strangest job. I haven't had a lot of strange. Okay. I would say probably the strangest job, and it's probably not very strange in comparison to the a lot of people's experiences. I once was. I don't want to say a brand ambassador because that's kind of the wrong term, but like I worked a table where we were giving out samples of beer.
Okay.
In a Publix.
I do that like every weekend.
Yeah, like in and of itself, it's not a very strange job, but
strange to you. I mean, strange is a relative term.
So I'm not I know you probably wouldn't guess it from my poise during this interview, but like I'm kind of a socially awkward person. Like I don't really like talking to strangers. I'm very introverted. I will not start a conversation if someone does not come and talk to me. I'm totally content to just be quiet and enjoy whatever event is happening around me. I will listen to others have a conversation and not
I
really
feel that.
be a part of it.
So that was definitely out of your
I
comfort zone.
literally just like stood silently behind a table for like 2 hours.
Oh Jesus. Yep, not the job for you.
No, it was not a job for me.
Number 5. What is your biggest fear?
So I think you're really kind of an asshole for asking this question on air. Because it's like, okay, I'm gonna come on and tell all of your viewers how to
You could bullshit us.
how
I
to
mean,
knock me down from my
you
high
could-
post. You know that Lilabelle, I've heard she's deathly afraid of this one thing. So let's go to her show and do this one thing
you
that
could
she's
completely
so afraid of.
bullshit us and give us something that doesn't bother you.
Yeah,
I don't. There's no wrong answer.
I'm
so.
super afraid of snakes. And I was actually really happy that Nicole brought up that whole thing from the Bible earlier, because like when people ask me why I'm so afraid of snakes, I'm like, they're evil. Like
Okay.
the Bible says so.
Okay,
They're
I'm
evil.
gonna call bullshit right now, and what I'm gonna say to the public is what Lilabelle is truly terrified of is when people throw money at her, and the higher the denomination, the more afraid she becomes.
I just hate it. $100 bill Benjamins are just my downfall.
Because
if you want to
she's
see
such
me
an
have a
awful
mental
person,
breakdown,
I think you all should go to her shows, buy a ticket, go see her shows, and I think you should throw $100 bills at her just because it fucking
I will
scares
just
her.
pee my pants right there.
I wonder if that kind of marketing is going to work.
Reverse psychology.
So
marketing.
I listened to a podcast about fear. There's actually a thing called a fearologist. Did you know that?
There's an ologist for everything.
Oh, so exciting. There's a whole
It's like a whole thing.
It's so exciting. Okay. So there's a fearologist that studies fear and like talks about like the amygdala and the basis of fear and how like humans don't want to use the word fear because it's kind of like a vulnerability. So we use the words stress and anxiety instead, but really what we're describing is fear. But fear is one of the basic human emotions.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Did you know there's only 4 basic
sugar,
human
salt, fat, and booze? Oh, wait, no, those are the 4 major food groups. My bad.
It's
Speaking of which, how's your book coming?
happiness, sadness, fear, and disgust.
And everything else would be a combination.
Everything else is just a combination. The whole emotional spectrum is just a combination of those 4 basic human emotions.
And 3 out of those 4 I feel strongly on a daily basis. You can figure out which 3. That's interesting, though. I like that. See, learning shit on Fubar Weekly. That's what we're here for, people. We are here to educate. Wu-Tang is for the children. Wu-Tang's for the children. Fubar's for the education. Education. All right, so moving on.
Diabetes.
Number 6. I have a feeling there is none in existence, but what is your guilty pleasure song?
This is the question I've thought the most about.
Really?
Yes, honestly, because I was thinking, oh my God, if I'm going to be on that show, I already know that I'm socially awkward. So I've I wrote a list of stuff that I wanted to talk about on the show.
And we've gotten to none of it.
We got to all of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, we're awesome.
I'm just natural like that. I'm just very prepared.
More prepared
and
than
so
us.
Obviously I've heard the 20 questions before because I'm an avid listener.
Once or twice.
And this is the question that I've thought the most about because I'm thinking what do I feel guilty about listening to?
Not so much guilty about listening, but guilty about liking that you don't want people to know you like it. Something completely out of your element or what they would expect of you.
What is your expectation of me? What do you think?
I know
you mentioned
so I don't
Flow
really
Rider
have.
earlier.
Yeah.
And I don't think
do you think that I listen to Flow Rider?
Do you
Yes.
thump down the road to total gangster rap?
I really don't.
I didn't think so.
I really don't.
No.
I like some rap. There's a rap that actually my buddy Eddie, who has been on the comments here a little bit.
What's up, Eddie?
He actually sent me a rap song, and I have no idea who either of the artists are, but it's some artist, and it's featuring an artist called Justina Valentina, and it's a rap that's entirely about BDSM, and I am so into it. It's such a fire song.
All right.
And I typically don't like rap at all, but that's not something I'd feel bad about blasting. I would blast it and be like, whatever, fuck yourself. I do a little bit. I don't like people to hear me sing. So
Okay.
more than the song choice. If I like roll up to a red light and my windows are down, I'll stop singing along to the song.
Okay. That's fair.
But
Okay.
like I listen to a lot of different stuff. I listen to classical, I listen to opera, I listen to musicals, I listen to Broadway, I listen to rock, I listen to some rap, I listen to hip hop, I listen to Latin music, I listen to a lot of stuff.
Okay. It's a good answer, actually. You have given it some quality thought.
I have thought about it a lot. Thank you.
Number 7, what fictional character do you most identify with?
See, I was thinking so much about the guilty pleasure stuff.
You kind of like fuck
Don't know.
everything else was like fuck it.
Are you familiar with the BBC series Sherlock?
I have heard of it. I do not watch it.
I'd say Sherlock. Not because I go around solving mysteries,
Because you do.
but because he is he's a high functioning sociopath, and I really identify strongly with that label.
That's the best fucking answer I've ever heard for that question.
I have a T-shirt that says high functioning sociopath.
Nice.
I actually talk about it pretty regularly with my partner, Alistair. And he's like, did you not see that happen? Do you not feel the energy in this room? And I'm like, no, I'm a sociopath. I don't get any of it.
I don't get that vibe from you.
It's because I'm high functioning.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. You put on a good mask.
There you go. Number 8. This is where it starts to get philosophical. Vanilla or chocolate? We're talking about ice cream.
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
I remember when they invented chocolate. I never liked it. Why? Listen, if you're not a fan of SpongeBob, we can't talk.
I don't know anything about SpongeBob except for the memes I've watched, seen, or whatever.
There's a whole episode where SpongeBob is selling chocolate. That's the origin of that reference. There's an episode where SpongeBob is selling chocolate.
Okay.
And he's like going door to door, which is like my worst nightmare.
What is SpongeBob?
He is a sponge.
SquarePants?
What is he?
He lives in a pineapple
He's
under
a
the sea.
cartoon character.
Nope, he's a tampon.
He's a tampon.
No, he's not. He's a square. When was the last time you saw a square tampon?
Yeah, you ever stick one in water and let it unfurl? It's
That's true.
rectangular.
The cheap ones.
That's true. You're right. But
He's small, he's absorbent, and he lives in Bikini Bottom.
No,
okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I guess you're right. The cheap ones
See?
are rectangles.
I'll accept that.
See?
By the way, the rectangle ones, they can break off pieces inside you and cause problems.
How do you explain Squidward?
You look like a penis.
Hmm.
Look at him.
I think the answer you're looking for is hentai.
Oh, yes. That's fucked up, and I like it.
That's what I'm here for, Roger.
By the way, those cheap ones are really good. When you get them wet, you throw them against the wall, they'll stick.
Gross.
I used to do that in high school. I'd wet the toilet paper. Well, that's my tampons. I'd wet the toilet paper and throw them up in the ceiling and shit like that. So
I told my kids.
That's gross.
I told my kids that my wife was
clean,
a terrorist.
wet toilet paper.
I mean, it's still gross though.
Whatever.
I told my kids that my wife was a terrorist, and those were little sticks of dynamite.
I'm
an asshole. I'm a fucking asshole. Leave me alone. All right.
We need sex ed in public schools.
Yeah, because it obviously works because I had it when I was there. My son's doing reproduction in his biology class.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
is he talking about mitosis and meiosis?
My son has heard me do a joke about Disney characters fisting each other. He's kind of like ahead of the curve a little bit. I had this conversation with Hi the other day. Where does SpongeBob live? What's the name of the restaurant he works at? So there's
the Krusty Krab.
So there's a
Krusty Krab pizza.
Krusty Krab in Bikini Bottom. That's funny.
They made a real Krusty Krab restaurant.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds delicious, actually.
I honestly don't ever want to try a Krabby Patty.
You know what? I like crab cakes, and if somebody put a crab cake on a burger, I'd totally eat it.
Hell, I've eaten that before.
Like
it's
the crab cake would be the burger.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've had that.
Yeah, I have to.
In Maryland. It's delicious.
Mm.
All right, moving on. Let's see. Where were you? Vanilla chocolate. Go-to comfort food.
Mac and cheese.
Hell yeah.
I love mac and cheese. I eat all kinds of mac and cheese. I eat Publix mac and cheese. I eat Stouffer's mac and cheese. I eat Shells and cheese. I eat Kraft mac and cheese. I eat homemade mac and cheese. I love mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese is my favorite vegetable. Number 10. What is your favorite cheesy movie?
So
just a look. I'm what is it?
I don't think it's cheesy. I don't think it's cheesy. My 2 favorite movies ever, period. End of the line. If you were going to ask me what my favorite movie is, I would answer you with 2 movies, and it would be Moulin Rouge and Labyrinth. And I've heard some people express that The Labyrinth is a cheesy movie.
Absolutely not.
Spank that baby. Make him cry.
No, I would say it is absolutely not a cheesy movie. I think it was made at the wrong time.
Certainly.
I think if it was made a few years later when effects could be better.
The effects weren't bad. The puppetry was really good. It was cutting edge.
It was George Lucas, wasn't it?
No, it was Jim Henson.
Jim Henson. It was somebody with an L.
It was Jim Henson. And they were all puppets. And they were really advanced puppets for the time. The animatronics were really advanced on it. Hoggle had like 3 operators for the puppet and the live actor inside. And David Bowie was my first love. Anyway.
What's funny is Jennifer Connelly was my first love.
Was that before or after she became a crack whore?
It may have had something to do with Requiem for a Dream. And,
right.
I like that movie a lot. Some of my favorites.
That movie fucked me up because The Labyrinth is my favorite movie. And I from the age of 7 years old, The Labyrinth has been my favorite movie. And I only ever knew Jennifer Connelly as Sarah from The Labyrinth. And so when I saw her in Requiem for a Dream.
Ass to ass.
I saw her in Requiem first, and then I saw her in everything else.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
that must have made The Labyrinth really interesting to experience, huh?
All right. Moving on. Number 11, favorite literary work.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Which just turned
42 this year.
I taught my kids from a young age. I'll ask my daughter, Kiara, why are you so cute? And her answer is 42. From a young age.
That's cute.
We had gone to some fair festival type thing, and they had a wheel where you spin the wheel, win a prize kind of thing. And the person said, if you answer this question right, I'll give you a free spin. And the person asked my daughter, what's the answer to life, the universe, and everything? And she looked she was like fucking 7. Look, 42. Blew the woman's mind.
Amazing.
Kids right.
I love the riff about the whale falling to the ground and like, what is this big thing that's coming at me? And I have to make a name for it. And it has to be large and it has to be like robust, like something ground. That's a good name for it. And like he just is like discovering life. And then the bowl of petunias is just like, oh no, not again.
That's right.
Oh, I love it. Okay, number 12. If you could have lived through any time period, what time period and why?
So I am super happy that I am in a time period where I can be a burlesque performer and pinup model and be safe, feel safe on a daily basis.
Very important.
Like obviously we have a general risks for like stalkers and obsessive people, and we take basic, privacy measures and things like that. But like generally, I'm not afraid that like a priest is gonna break into the bar that I'm performing at and just slice all of our necks.
The power of Christ compels you,
right?
Do you know what I've noticed is that more and more increasingly, when we ask that question, women, for the most part, say, it's pretty good to be a woman these days.
Yeah, because we've done a lot of work. We've done a lot of work to get it to this point.
Like a lot of guys are like, I want to be in the 40s or the 20s or in the 30s or the 60s.
I want to be back in the 50s when a nice open palm slap to the ass was a good way to tell your secretary.
But for the most part, women are like, I like now.
If I had to live in somewhere other than now, I've always kind of had this dream of being like a brothel madam. And like, I think I would love to be a woman during the westward expansion that like goes into like Tombstone or one of those frontier towns and like opens the brothel and has all of these ladies working under her and like is kind of like underground involved with all of the organized crime happening and
Organized crime and all the politicians.
right, yeah, like the secret keeper. I've always loved the idea of that.
Well,
I'm gonna
they
send you a
say in
music
those
video.
old West towns, the madam was the most powerful person.
That's
in town.
actually my goal in real life, in now life, is eventually once I am like too old to perform, which I'm sure is like at least 40 years away.
We hope.
But like when I'm too old to perform and like I don't want to do burlesque anymore, like my dream, my hope is to become kind of like the brothel madam and have like other burlesque performers that I'm helping come up and like teaching them the ways and producing shows and organizing things and stuff like that.
Okay. I dig it. Number 13. What is your adult beverage of choice?
Red wine. I
Red,
exist
red
on
wine.
coffee, water, and wine. Those are
Alright.
pretty much the things that I exist on.
What's your preferred varietal?
Of red? I like red
Or just
wine.
red wine.
I like wine that's like really robust and flavorful. So I tend to go for more for like a Merlot or a Malbec or a Zinfandel or a red blend or something like that. I hate Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay.
It tastes like dirty socks.
That's fair. I can absolutely agree with that. Number 14. Everybody's favorite question. Celebrity free pass. They have to be willing, Bill Cosby.
David Bowie.
Rip.
I would assume, yeah, because my choice is Marilyn Monroe, so I'm guessing same thing, back in time while alive,
Not
not,
current.
Yeah, I mean, like-
digging him up.
I would still fuck him when he was 60. But like obviously, you know,
You're a vampire, but not that much.
I'm a succubus.
Yeah.
I'm a succubus.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Okay.
right.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't really want to screw a dead body because you know there's a
Yeah.
fine line with consent there. Can they really give consent if they're dead? But I would totally bone down David Bowie, like
All right.
any time in his career, bone down David Bowie. But like also Alistair and I have a whole list of celebrities that were like, nah, if they ever were like, meh, we would be like, yeah. Like we got sandwiched between, well, we had like an Elvira sandwich at Spooky Empire because we paid for the photo op. So she was like on the couch and she was like, come on, both of you can fit on here. You're thin. And like, so we were on either side of Elvira to get our picture taken. And we were like, Elvira. And she's like 70, but she could get it, man. Let me tell
Fuck
you.
yeah, she can. One of the I've always loved Elvira, and when I went away to college, I went to the local beer distributor and I said, I'm going away to college. You know, do you have any like signs or shit to decorate my dorm room because I'm a fucking classless fucking savage in the mid '90s. And dude gave me he hooked me up with a bunch of shit. But one of the things he gave me was a Coors Light advertising sign. It was a fluorescent backlight. It was probably like this tall by like this wide, and it was a backlit picture of Elvira.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it got destroyed in the fucking fight, but it was like I was so sad when it broke. Like I cried.
One of the things I really admire about Elvira is that she's established a brand that has held up for over a generation, like for decades.
Oh God, yeah.
And like it's still relevant today.
Oh yeah.
And she's still going to cons and she's still building new audience. I actually asked her when we were at Spooky Empire. I got a signature from her and I asked her when she was signing the thing if she was writing a book, and she said she was working on it. So fingers crossed.
What's cool, you know, kind of cool, slightly sad, is people may not know the origins of Elvira, but they fucking know Elvira. And
Yeah.
that's the first step.
I love that she has a sense of humor about herself.
Oh, from day one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
always making fun of herself and she makes the cheesiest
Yeah.
jokes, and like I don't care who anybody who's like highbrow humor is like puns are the most basic form of humor.
Fuck
I'm like,
that shit. It's Elvira.
puns
Yeah.
are the highest quality
And
and,
if you
caliber
watch-
of humor.
Watch some of her old late night TV interviews. They're all over YouTube. And she, from day one, everything was making fun of her, you know, her figure, making fun of her bust and making fun of just everything. And it's just so fucking good.
She has to be so intelligent.
She is.
Like and a great businesswoman and a great brand builder, and she really took advantage of her strengths
Yep.
to build something for herself and has kept it going through
And it all started from a late night local B movie show.
where she was trying to emulate
Somebody else,
Vampira.
Yep. And it took off. I fucking love her. Cassandra Peterson. It's her real name.
She's a redhead.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Fire crotch. Anyway, let's see. Where was I? Do the drapes match the cloaca?
She's not a mermaid.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Wait, all redheads aren't mermaids? What the fuck? I've been lied to. Thanks, Disney.
No, I just said
She's
I'm a
a-
succubus.
yeah.
Come on.
Okay, sorry. Let's see. Celebrity free pass, where we're at. 2-part question. What is your dream car? I can see like a classic hot rod kind of thing.
Yeah, like an old Cadillac or Pontiac that's pink, obviously. Pastel pink on the outside. Ivory interior with just the biggest fins you could imagine.
I would like to show you.
And all of the chrome.
Look at this car. I saw this in St. Pete the other day.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Was it? I think Dang.
It would like I literally stopped in my tracks.
Like
and I
I
was like
want
in
it to
shock.
be I want it to be a boat.
Like this was beautiful.
Yeah.
I stopped in my tracks.
Like take up
That-
2
Took my breath
parking
away.
spots.
That guy that has a YouTube channel that I talk to a lot, Rob Pitts. He buys and sells those kinds of cars. And so he has a YouTube channel, and some of the cars, and he talks about the cars, the history behind them, and his history with them. Fucking beautiful cars.
I would totally be cool with a McLaren though too.
Oh,
like
yeah.
if someone wanted to just give me a McLaren, I'd be really
you
fine with
wouldn't
that.
tell that. No.
Yeah.
Fair. But what was your first car?
I had a Mercury Sable.
Nice.
It was a luxury vehicle.
Sort of. It was a fancy Ford Taurus.
But it was but it was a luxury. Mercury is a luxury maker.
I used to before I moved down here, before I had my Jeep, I drove Grand Marquis, Mercury Grand Marquis, because I fucking love those cars.
Yeah, it
good car.
had a smooth ride. It was very reliable. It got me through a lot.
And that's what
It was my
matters.
first car.
Number 16. What is the first album you remember buying?
Can it be cassette tape?
It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
like a
Okay.
vinyl album.
So my first cassette tape that I ever bought was Britney Spears.
Which one?
It was a single for Baby One More Time.
Eh,
And it had another song on it. I'm not going to be able to remember which song. It had one other song.
nobody
from
else
that,
probably remembers anyway. She probably doesn't remember.
from that album.
You know,
she
I-
had a whole album that Baby One More Time was on, but like it was that and one other song. And like my friends and I would have our little boom box that we would play the cassette tape in and like do karaoke. It was really fun.
I am one of the few people on the planet that can say I had Britney Spears in the back seat of my car.
Really?
Yes, I did.
Tell me that story.
I was working for an event and we had to move Britney, and paparazzi was sitting on the truck they were using. So her security manager called me up and said, we need to move her and we're going to use your truck. I said, okay, what do you want to do? Told me where to go. I pull up. They all jumped in. She got in the back seat. Security guy. We took off up the road. And they didn't spot us.
Nice. Was this pre or post 2007?
This was post nut job time.
Yeah.
A friend of mine was working a hotel in LA that night, and her managers called up the hotel he was working at looking to get her a room. And they heard what happened at that point. They went, fuck no, fuck no. So whatever. She was absolutely sweet. So very nice. Her dad's a fucking dick, but she was very sweet.
I'm proud of Brittany. She's overcome a lot. And I think all of us, when we were going through the year of 26, really, it's a transformative year.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
And she, like right now, they have her on a very controlled, tight leash. Like everything she does, she's basically told, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going, this is how we're doing it.
Well, and I mean, she has kids and
Yeah.
she, had a show in Vegas and she stepped away from that to be with her family and, she lost her relationship. So, I mean, she's got to be going through a hard time.
I'm sure. But like I said, she was incredible. She didn't talk much. We spoke for a minute, just hi, how are you? Nice to meet you, whatever. But she was polite, sweet, but her father was a dick. Whatever. Album number 17. What is the social cause you most stand for?
Women empowerment, women's rights.
I think women have suffered long enough, so we need to end women's suffrage.
I use the hashtag women empowering women a lot when I'm doing like Instagram and Facebook posts and stuff like that.
I was talking about this the other day, and actually, I think me and you were talking about it.
Tell me.
Where when women won't wear an outfit to twice but the only reason why they won't wear is because other women being fucking judgy. Like,
I don't
was it
think.
you?
Yeah,
I don't think that was me.
That wasn't you.
I don't think that was me. Because I'll wear the same like 5 things all the time.
Okay. So I was having this conversation with somebody, and that was the thing. Like, a women can't wear, the same outfit twice. Be seen in public with the same outfit twice because, you can't do that.
Well, women can be real shitty to each other.
And that's what it.
They
That's
can be,
important.
and they can be super competitive. And I really don't. I just don't like that, and I try to work against it. There's room for everybody. If you push someone else down, it might feel like you're higher now because that person is below you. They've fallen to the ground, but you're no higher. You're not in a higher place than when you started. It's just that person is on the ground now.
Yep.
If there's room for everybody, there's enough success in the world for everybody. You don't need to step on other people to get ahead.
That's the thing about success. It's not a finite. It's not like 10 people can be successful and fuck everybody else. Everybody can possibly be successful.
Yeah, it's entirely possible for everybody, especially when you're talking on the level that most people are talking. Like if you're talking about the local Tampa Bay burlesque scene, okay, you're talking about like 25 people. And that's probably a generous number.
But
there's
you should be shooting your sights a little higher than just being the number one performer.
Well, that's the thing is, like, in the whole world, there is plenty of room for 25 burlesque performers to be successful, right?
More than that,
right? So I don't know. That's kind of my thing. I do shows. I did a show last year for women's rights that benefited Planned Parenthood. I just did a show last Friday. That was the after party for the vagina monologues. That all of the proceeds went to support women's like battered women's shelters and Planned Parenthood and stuff like that.
Good things.
Yeah. So I'm really into women not being shitty to each other.
That's good.
Yeah.
People of, not just women, people should just not be shitty to each other, period.
Absolutely.
All people should not be shitty to each other.
And like, I'm totally into like, the Me Too movement and like bringing to light sexual harassment in the workplace and stuff like that. And I think that it's just something that gets really swept under the rug. And there is a stigma to that. That's been so bred into society that it's somehow your fault. Like if you're experiencing sexual harassment in the workplace, it's somehow your fault. And I encountered this relatively recently where in my Muggle job, I was very open about being a pinup model and being a burlesque performer. And I started experiencing some sexual harassment from a superior. And I felt like I deserved it because of what I do for a living. And I understand that that's not right. Like the logical part of my brain understands that I don't deserve it just because I take off my clothes on the weekends. But the emotional and sociological side of myself thinks, well, what do I expect? And that's kind of like a result of my upbringing as well. Like, what do you expect if you're not watching what you wear and you're not watching what you say? How do you expect men to react? How do you expect your superiors to react? You really brought this on yourself.
That's bullshit.
It's tough.
And wow, it's really shitty that we're still dealing with this.
Yeah, and the more I talked about it, the more like finally the seal was broken. Because for a while, that's the other thing is like for a while, if you're a woman in the workplace, you tend to feel silenced. You tend to feel like guilt, like this feel of like guilt and shame that's involved with it. So you try not to talk about it because you think, well, maybe I didn't respond the right way, or maybe it's because I did X, Y, and Z, or maybe someone's gonna perceive that I'm trying to get ahead by talking sweet to a superior or something like that. So you tend not to talk about it. And then eventually the seal was broken and someone started talking about this person who was sexually harassing multiple people in the workplace. And all of the sudden I realized, oh my God, it's not my fault. It's not because I'm a model. It's not because I'm a stripper. Like he's just garbage and he is doing this to every female who works with him. And the more I started talking to other women who have been in the workplace for a long time, the more feedback I got that was, oh, that's just something that we deal with. That's just something that's normal. It's just something that happens. You just don't, yeah, you just ignore it. You just, you don't
happen.
You don't give into it. You tell them to stop. Sometimes they'll keep texting you and you just have to ignore it and like, oh, I've had to block someone's number before, or it's just something that you have to deal with.
But it
And
shouldn't be.
it shouldn't be.
The problem.
It shouldn't be. And that was a huge eye opener to me about how, like, I thought you get hired into a job, and part of this is my naivete. But you get hired into a job and you do all of this training about sexual harassment and like what is and isn't ethical and things like that. And like, oh, well, your HR department is here to help you. So if you start experiencing sexual harassment, you should go to your HR department, blah, 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 blah. And you think, well, that doesn't happen anymore. Like it's not the 1950s. You don't have men walking around spanking secretaries in the open anymore.
Who would do such a thing?
It just doesn't happen. But then it does. It does happen.
Oh no, it does. I don't doubt that it happens.
It does happen. We had a male coworker actually remove his pants in the workplace.
Just why?
Now,
why?
Before I ask it, like it wasn't like something was spilled on them and he had to get them off, and it was an emergency.
No.
It was.
We had company issued T-shirts, and whatever size he got and however his stature was, the T-shirt ended up being kind of long on him. And he was ranting about how long this T-shirt was and how it could really be a dress.
Fucking first world problems.
And reached down and took his pants down to exhibit the fact that the T-shirt could in fact be a dress.
It didn't dawn on him to untuck the shirt with the pants up and let the shirt hang down.
The shirt was already hanging down. He just wanted to take his pants off.
What a fucking piece of shit.
My boss was right there.
He get fired?
Nope.
What the fuck?
He still works there. I
What
left.
The fuck?
I got pushed out of that workplace before he did.
You're better off.
So, but that's the thing. That's the thing that's like, okay, when people are like, well, the patriarchy doesn't really exist anymore. I'm like,
sir, yes, it does.
You're just not opening your eyes and you're just not seeing it. When this was happening and I was experiencing sexual harassment in the workplace, I went to one of my male coworkers who's older. And I said, this is happening and it's not happening just to me. It's happening to a lot of people. And he said, well, you have to be quiet. Like we were talking about it. He said, lower your tone. You can't talk about this. Like you have to be quiet. And I said, no, I'm not going to be quiet.
That's fucked up.
And he was like, well, you don't know who's listening. And I said, I don't give a fuck who's listening. This has to stop. We have to do something about it. This is inappropriate. This can't be real that this is happening. And he was like, no, you can't say anything because, he's kind of in a position of power and you have to think about yourself. What's going to happen to you? And I said, that is rape culture. That is the definition of rape culture. What you are saying, while you're telling me to be quiet to protect myself because of someone else's inappropriate behavior, you are supporting and propagating rape culture.
That it's absolutely disgusting. It's disgusting. There's no, I mean, I could use harsher terms. It's still here. It's still here. It's still prevalent. It's still something that women face in the workplace. And it's still something that we don't talk about. And that's when the Me Too movement came out and everybody was like, all of these people are just, Well, my advice is start talking about it and take those motherfuckers down.
Right. Well, and we started talking about it and everybody started saying, oh, they're making it up. So we still have a long way to go.
I'm so glad that I do not work in true corporate America because I'd probably fucking kill somebody. No doubt. I'd hear shit like that happening. I'd fucking kill somebody. What?
Well, I need more people like you to like stand up.
You know how fucked
us.
up the world would be if there were more of me?
Women,
you know how not fucked up the world would be if there was more of you?
I'm still fucked up. I just have I have morals. They're weird, but I have morals.
But there's also something to be said with the fact that you're straightforward and you say what you think. Because we know where you stand. And not everybody is like that.
It's true. More people should be like that. Just not me.
What did I just say?
No, you said we need more of me. No.
More people like you. More people who stand up for
Tall
when
and
you,
fat, devilishly handsome.
all of the above.
Okay, fair enough.
Definitely. Yeah.
Devilishly handsome.
We need more.
With a
What did you
buttery
say?
baritone.
I was
voice.
literally going to say that.
Buttery baritone.
We need more buttery baritone
Actually,
voices.
I'm surprised because like over the
Do
weekend
you
my
have a-
voice was shot.
Do you have just a track of you saying buttery baritone
I
in
like
that
saying
voice?
that buttery baritone.
Can you just make like a 30-second track and send that to me for personal reasons that I'm not going to share on air?
Would you also like me to say words like Massapequa? I cracked on that one.
Wait.
Massapequa.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Roger. Wait, Roger.
What am I waiting for?
Say those words again.
Buttery baritone. Massapequa. It was a Massapequa was a town on Long Island. There was a commercial that had Barry Bostwick, and he's got a nice smooth baritone. He's you're so and so calling from Massapequa. Just the way he fucking said it, it's hilarious. That's home of Joey Buttafuoco, by the way. Let's get back on track. So, guys, stop fucking harassing the ladies, for Christ's sake. You're gonna burn in hell for it, or you'll burn in the fucking basement.
Oh, and before anyone says anything, it's not okay for women to do that to men either. It's not okay for women to sexually harass men in the workplace either. If you can't spank us, we can't spank you. I'm all about equality.
So
Fuck it, I quit.
if that guy pulled down
Unless
his
you
pants
give
in
us
front of
consent.
me, consent is where it's
Just
at.
remember, means yes. No.
So if that guy
Hard.
pulled down his pants in
That's
front of
fucking hard.
me,
You're laughing at it. You're horrible. You're fucking laughing at that. Damn.
Just because I have good morals does not mean that I don't have a good sense of humor.
Good point. I'm sorry, Nicole.
no, I was
What
just saying that man pulled down his pants in front of me. I probably would have pointed and laughed, and that would have definitely been sexual harassment.
It looked like a dick, only smaller.
Is that a Vienna sausage? Sorry.
Hey. Now you're being prejudiced against us Irish people.
I have pantsed somebody who deserved it before. So just that.
Was this after you graduated high school?
It was shortly before.
Okay, fair. That's because that kind of ends when you graduate high school and you don't pants people.
But you know what? If I ran into that person and he was still being mean to me, I'd still pants him to this day.
Nope, don't pants them. Kick them square in the ding ding.
You know what? Some guys are immune to that just because they're assholes and they've had their nuts kicked so many times.
Or they don't have nuts.
Some people really like that and they pay good money for it.
You know
Every
what?
time
You know,
somebody
if
sends
I-
me one of those fucking videos, I wish some bad shit on them.
If I ran into that person and you know what? I take it back. If I ran into that person, I'd make him pay me to pants him.
There you go.
I'd make him pay me.
Get that money.
Money. All right. Social cause. Favorite video game? You a gamer?
That wristband right there has the emblem of Assassin's Creed.
All right.
But Assassin's Creed actually is not my favorite video game. My favorite video game is Tomb Raider.
Nice. Do you like the original?
All of them.
Okay.
I'm a big Tomb Raider fan. I'm not prejudiced. I do think that the original series is better than the reboot because there's this twisted idea in the video game world that like in order to make women more believable, we need to decrease their breast size. And as a woman who is blessed in the bust area,
You are? I didn't notice.
come to one of my shows.
I've been to one. Actually, you performed at one of our shows.
Wait, no, she didn't.
She did?
I don't think
She
so.
didn't.
Really?
She's never
Really?
performed at one of our shows. And I've actually never
Why the
seen
fuck
her.
not?
She was always
I've-
busy and supporting us as an audience member, paying for tickets.
Yeah, you fucking rock.
Hey, thanks.
No problem.
But that's like always the first step that they make. They're like, oh, we're trying to make Lara Croft more believable. So we made her have smaller tits. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that makes
okay,
sense.
there's a shit ton of stuff you can do to make her more believable, but like decreasing the size of her tits isn't necessarily one of them.
Do you mean women really can't jump 4 stories high while wielding an axe?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she ever has an axe, but
Whatever.
she does have an exceptional jump height in the original game.
Okay, all right.
Like way too high for any human to have. And like there's some like lore and history behind how she has the athletics that she has because she's an archaeologist in the series, but also a gymnast. So like a lot of her climbing ability and her like jumps and flips and stuff like that are secondary to her gymnastics training. But also are not related to her breast size. So
I have learned-
Actually, most gymnasts have very small breasts.
instead of saying,
Yeah.
well, we're going to make Lara Croft like a more believable female character by like not making her grunts sound like sex noises. We're going to change the storyline so that every single one of her motivation and character development factors is because of work that her father did.
Brilliant.
My best friend up in New Jersey and I had a drinking game once with one of the newer Lara Croft games because literally the whole story was just daddy issues. That was like the entire plot driving device was daddy issues. So we had a drinking game that every time Lara Croft said something about her father, we would take a drink. And literally we got to the point where we were too drunk to hunt a deer in the video game.
That's awesome. I have learned more about Lara Croft than I've probably ever known.
Heather was my best friend. She was like, "Why are you just standing there?" And I was like, "Oh, I just fell asleep for a second. Sorry."
That's fucking awesome. Number 19. Now, typically we interview comedians, but today is an exception. So in your case, you cannot say a burlesque performer, but what is your dream job?
I would love to be a doctor.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What kind of doctor? Just a doctor.
Okay, so if you're talking dreams and like not reality at all, I would love to be a trauma surgeon.
That's badass.
I just
legit,
I would love it to be like the one who like comes in after like a bad car wreck and is like
saves everybody.
Move aside.
I got this shit.
Repairs arteries and shit. And like is like, yeah, I need 2 units of O-neg trauma blood infused stat. Get me a trocar so I can insert this chest tube and decompress this hemothorax. Like I want to be that.
She just said a lot of big words.
She said that in the mirror once or twice.
I want to be that badass who comes in and just like I want to get that call at midnight and be like, oh, there was an emergency, there was a shooting, and I have to come in and repair all of these people who've been shot, and then their families come to me and are like, "You're our hero." Like, yeah.
All right, Dr.
You've
Lilabelle.
thought about this a little bit. I like that.
I've thought about it a lot. I really want to go to medical school. It's just very expensive. And in true practice, I probably wouldn't become a trauma surgeon because it would very much impede in everything else that I would do in my life. I would probably be an emergency room doctor so that I could clock in and clock out.
It's more practical.
Yeah.
Where were we? Dream job. Number 20. What is the most interesting, crazy, weird, bizarre fact about you?
So I was totally going to say horseback riding to this.
We kind of ruined that earlier.
About horseback riding.
But that is so when I found that, I was shocked.
Yeah, I love horses. I have a horse.
What's his name or her name?
His name is Copper. He's my baby. We bought him off of the racetrack when he was 3 years old.
Okay.
And he's now 13, so I've had him for 10 years.
Okay, so you're a horse person. I got to ask this. They measure horses in hands. The fuck does that mean?
A hand is 4 inches.
Oh.
That's how tall they are this way.
Okay. Your hand is smaller than mine.
And you measure a horse at the wither. So you do not measure him where his head is.
So not hither, thither, or yon.
Right.
At the wither.
Wither. Because they can move their head, so they can like put it low, they can put it high, so you're not getting like a consistent measure. So the wither is actually like the top of the shoulder.
Okay.
And that's usually the highest point on a horse other than their head. And that's where you measure them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I learned something today.
Is it weird that I already knew all that?
So my horse is 16 hands and 2 inches. And he is not very good at running fast on the track, but he does jump very high.
What kind of horse?
He's a thoroughbred.
Okay.
Yeah, so we go fast and jump high jumps.
Horses.
He's my baby. But okay, other fun fact, because I kind of cheated you and gave you a hint on the equestrian one earlier, is I love disco.
All right, that's it. We can't be friends anymore.
I love disco.
Well, you know, I mean, it's fitting for what you do.
I love disco.
Okay. Right. Now,
It's so fun.
You get a pass on this.
You know, disco is it's a very accepting dance. Black people can do disco. White people can do disco. It's poor people can do disco. Rich people can do disco. Like when it was at the height, everybody. Sorry. I hope that didn't just deafen our listeners.
What?
How that happened?
What?
What? We were talking about disco.
You said it didn't deafen the listeners. I'm
Right.
sitting here with the sound being pumped directly into my ear holes. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was pretty bad. It wasn't that bad.
What the heck? Look.
What? Oh, turn the bass. The bass sticks out like a foot for a reason.
Physics.
You done breaking shit? You want some more shit to break? I mean, whatever.
If it's a spherical chicken in a vacuum.
Wait, what?
Physics.
I broke 2 things today.
That's okay. You didn't break it.
Okay.
No, it's weighted for the weight to be on the front. Then the microphone's not made to go to the side.
Because I had it on the side.
Yeah.
Right.
If it was a round base, then it would. But
Learn
I'm
something.
cheap as fuck, and these microphone stands are actually for drums. The ones with the round bases were more expensive.
The more you know.
That's why.
Listen, anytime
Cheap fuck.
you can reallocate your resources in a more efficient manner.
That's it. And the difference in price was significant. It wasn't just like $1. It was pretty legit.
Now I know to always do it from the front.
Yeah.
Do it from the front.
Do it from the front. Do it from the front. You can do it from the back, but you got to do it right. Because you can't just force it. It's got to be
Spit on
done
it
right.
first.
Unless you're doing prison rules, and then you just get a running start.
Do you know I saw a tattoo once on an asshole that said spit first.
On an asshole.
On an asshole. It was like, or around it.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite inappropriate tattoo I ever saw was an elephant on a man. And you can imagine where the
And
trunk
the trunk was his wiener.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I like creative tattoos like that. Like Octo Booty, who's a stripper that I follow.
I've seen her.
I've seen Octo Booty too.
That's a
I
great
think everybody's
tattoo.
seen that.
Okay, so
It's a little frightening. It is a
I'm-
little frightening.
I love her octopus tattoo. The tattoo that I just can't get over is the tattoo that's above her.
Yeah.
Like lower, it's like on her lower abdomen, like right above her cooch that says daddy issues. I've seen ones that say cum dumpster too, with like an arrow pointing to the snatch area.
I love how everything else is a clinical or legal term until it gets to that area, and then it's cooch. And what was the other one you just used? What was the
Snatch.
Snatch.
Cooch, snatch, hooter, vagina.
You know what I learned that
Vulva.
blows my mind? I don't know if Maddie's still listening. I don't know if it's the same. What is a fanny?
A bum.
Your bum.
Nope. The fanny is the front butt.
What?
Oh,
Yes.
I've heard that too, actually.
In England, when they
Yeah.
use the term fanny, they are referring to the vagina.
Well, then how come Aunt Fanny and robots has a huge ass?
I don't know. But these are things that
I'm gonna have to write to the creators of robots.
for
Guys.
reals.
Guys, you can buy a butt plug that has a image of Octo Booty on it.
That's cool.
Now, hang on. Do you have a picture of it?
It's like
But like, is it like you say? I mean, like that tattoo's fucking huge.
no, it's like an image of her.
So wait, like on the ends, like one of those little jewel plugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's got like that'd be really small.
Yes, correct.
Those are
Kinda
fancy.
small.
I guess.
Oh, I
That's
don't really like that.
I don't
Yeah.
either. It's okay.
She's got a video online of her like twerking with a butt plug that has Jesus's face on the end of it, and I feel very conflicted about that.
Do you know my joke? I'm going to tell you my joke.
Tell
They
me
have
your
a baby Jesus shaped butt plug. I'm so excited about it. They have a baby Jesus shaped butt plug.
well, sometimes
like
you
the
need.
whole plug is shaped like baby Jesus.
Yes, it means it's the power of Christ inside you.
Yeah, deep
Oh
inside
my
you.
god, I love that so much.
See, but when you use that, you have to use holy water lube. It's actually a brand of lube.
Okay.
So
Oh.
anyway, hope you perverts are enjoying this. Holy shit, we're at 11:30 already.
Can I
Yeah.
tell you my favorite joke? Do we have time?
Yes, tell me your favorite joke.
I have a favorite joke.
Tell me.
It's right up with mermaids. It's right up like that kind of quality of joke.
Okay. All right.
So, 2 whales walk into a bar. The first whale looks at the second whale and goes, The second whale looks
Oh,
at the
Jesus.
first whale and goes, "Go home, Frank, you're drunk."
That's a good one. Oh, that was good. That was good. All right, number 21. Is the Earth round or flat? All
Round.
right, good.
Oh,
Figure with all the other intelligence, you would definitely get that one right.
oh my God.
Number 22. What did you want to be when you grew up?
A research scientist.
Nice. Women in STEM. I love it.
Yeah, until I figured out, like, I was like all about it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a research scientist. And then I was like, wait, you have to get a PhD to be a research scientist? That's way too much school. I'm not doing that.
But now you want to be a
And
medical
now
doctor.
I want to be a doctor. It's just as much school.
My final question. Everything I like about you could potentially hinge on this question.
I feel the pressure. Just kidding. I don't, because I'm a sociopath.
Maddie, you're still watching. Answer the question. What is a fanny? Final question. iPhone or Android?
Android.
I love you. This is my final question.
Can you take us through a typical day in the life
So
of Lilabelle?
of Lilabelle.
Of Lilabelle.
Of Lilabelle.
Yeah.
Well, Lilabelle gets up with the sun and drinks a vat of black coffee. So much coffee that some people's heart would just explode. But Lilabelle can just handle that much black coffee. I have a big cup that can fit a lot of coffee. And go out and feed the horses and come back inside and, make myself a leisurely lunch, which is like, probably mac and cheese. That's microwavable because I'm not a very good cook. I usually have like a million things scheduled every single day. So usually like every hour I'm like, okay, so between the hours of 7 and 11, I'm going to do all the horse stuff. So like I'll go out and I'll ride my horse and I'll clean the barn, I'll clean the stalls, I'll, feed the horses lunch, and then I'll come back inside. And then usually like, from noon to 4 or 5 o'clock, I'll be like sending emails and doing social media promotions that I need to be doing and making flyers and reaching out to venues and, things like that. And then go out and feed the horses dinner. And then usually at the end of the night, I'll try to like shower up and clean up. And then I will either start getting ready for a gig if I have a gig. Then I'll start getting ready for a gig, which can include doing my hair, doing my makeup, putting together wardrobe, packing supplies, et cetera, et cetera. And if I'm not doing a gig, then that's usually like, if I'm working on a costume, I will be sewing or rhinestoning, or I'll be choreographing an act. Or on the very rare occasions that I don't have anything going on, I'll be playing video games and playing with makeup. Usually playing video games is usually how I like to spend my free time that's not allocated to something already.
Nice.
I do have one extra question.
Okay.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What about a taco?
That's not a sandwich.
What about a burrito?
That's a wrap.
Wouldn't a wrap be a sandwich?
No.
A wrap is a wrap.
Wrap is a wrap.
And I find it quite offensive that you're asking another woman about a sandwich. That's just fucked up. You're horrible.
Roger.
What?
Is cereal a soup?
Yes, it is.
Is cereal a soup?
Yeah.
What a disturbed question.
I know. Pineapple belongs on shitty pizza.
Yes.
What else?
I love pineapple on pizza.
Same. Oh my God, this is the highest number of people who like pineapple on a pizza in one concentration ever.
See, pineapple belongs on shitty pizza. Like I wouldn't put it on good pizza.
No, sir.
Good
Pineapple belongs on every pizza, along with anchovies and jalapenos and onions, which is my trigger ingredients for apparently a lot of people.
I lived in New Jersey for a couple of years. That's how I have a best friend in New Jersey. And so my taste in Italian food and pizza is just ruined anywhere else. Like I can't eat Italian food or pizza anywhere else. So like I'll have pizza down here, but I don't really like pizza down here. Like unless my dad is making it, I really just don't like pizza. And I miss Zeppelis so much. Why does no one outside of New Jersey know what a Zeppeli is?
What? Well, yeah. Just say the Northie because I know what a fucking Zeppeli is. As a matter of fact, I know what a Zeppeli is to the point where I'm doing a comedy show in July in New York. And as the promoter is telling me, okay, it's going to be a tent and we're going to have a food truck and a Zeppeli cart. That's as far as I needed to go. You said Zeppeli cart, I'm fucking in. I don't care what it pays. I'm fucking in.
Roger, I need to be really clear with you right now. If you do not bring me a Zeppeli back from your show in New York, we are no longer friends.
I will bring one back.
I know it's not going to be very good.
I cannot guarantee freshness because
But I
the
need
show's
you to
Saturday
bring it back.
night.
I need you to
I'm
bring
not
it
going to
back.
be back until Monday. So maybe I will ask the gentleman who owns the cart, who owns the restaurant, who owns the parking lot where we're having the show, if he can take some of that dough or the batter for the zeppoli itself and freeze it, because that's the key to the zeppoli. Freeze it,
Because
and
it's
I
just
can
deep
pack
fried,
it.
right?
Yeah, and since I'm driving, I can pack it with dry ice and drive home, keep it frozen, thaw it out, fry them fresh.
See, this is how I know you care about me.
See, now we're thinking. Let me see what I could do.
I literally have my friend ship me bagels from New Jersey.
Yeah.
What?
Imagine if she was on Long Island, it'd be even better.
I know. My grandfather grew up on Long Island.
Nice. Where? You know?
No,
Right.
I don't. He had family on both sides of the island, so
Okay.
I heard stories about both sides of the island. I never knew like which one he was on.
You either get a rich girl from the North Shore or a cool girl from the South Shore. So Maddie is back on. He says a fanny is the other pair of lips that like to be kissed.
Oh,
So that confirms.
what a
Okay,
what a-
confirmed.
what a classy answer.
See, he's Australian. He's classy and shit. Pineapple pizza is the best thing ever to feed my bin with. No, man, eat the pizza. Don't throw it in the bin.
No, sir.
And he's asking, what is a zeppoli? Maddie, when you come to the United States, we will get you zeppolis. A zeppoli, the best way and the shortest way to describe it is an Italian donut, but it is made with
like
mascarpone
pizza dough.
cheese. No, there's cheese in it. There's mascarpone cheese.
Oh, that's why it's so good.
Yeah, but it's a fried dough ball with powdered sugar on it, deep fried, and it's when they're fresh, they're so fucking good. And I used to go anytime there's a street fair on Long Island, I would always get a sausage and pepper sandwich and fucking zeppolis, and I would eat the whole fucking bag, and that's probably why I have diabetes today. Did you say a cheese donut? Yes, it is a type of donut that has cheese in it. Not like a savory cheese. Mascarpone cheese is kind of
It's like a sweet cream cheese.
It's a curd cheese, a small curd cheese, but it's very sweet.
You're Polish, right? Or you have some
Polish,
sort of
Irish, and
Polish. Okay, so we got punchkis for Fat Tuesday.
Where'd you get them from?
Okay, we're not proud. Walmart.
It's all right.
But they were Boston cream, and we were like, we've never seen Boston cream punchkis before.
No, what you got were donuts in a box that said punchki.
Okay, listen, they were not Boston cream.
Oh, they weren't punchkis either.
Well, it was like a punchki shell
Now,
with chocolate on top, but it tasted like it was cheese on the inside.
if you guys want some good Polish food, there is a place in St. Pete. There's actually a place in Clearwater, but there's a place in St. Pete. The place in Clearwater is called the Pierogi Grill.
I've been to the place in Clearwater before.
There's a place on not 49th Street, 46th Street, maybe, called Pierogies. That's what it's called. It's called Pierogies.
Are you sure it's not on 49th Street? It's like on the corner of 49th and 66th. Or sorry, 49th and
It's in a little
Park.
tiny strip center.
Yeah.
It's just south of Park.
Uh-huh.
You been there?
Mhm.
Yeah. They got the good kibasi. And they got the cheese pierogies.
I love pierogi.
My wife works out that way every now and again. When I'm Polish, she'll stop by. She'll pick them up on her way home.
Alistair had never had pierogi and like actual good kielbasa
Are you
before.
Polish?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm a mutt.
All right, but
I got
you're
everything.
a little Polish. All right.
I'm like Polish and Czech and Norwegian and Welsh and a shit
A
ton
little
of
bit
other
of this
stuff.
and a little bit of that. But yeah, that place has really, really good food. How do you prepare your pierogies?
I mean, it depends on how much time I have, really.
But like, if you had the time, you're gonna prepare them thoroughly.
I like I like equally sauteing them, like pan sauteing them in a little bit of butter, and also baking them with peppers and onions.
Oh, that's nice. See, I wouldn't do that with the cheese pierogi. That's too sweet. But yeah, pan frying in butter, that's the way to go. My sister-in-law, she's Polish. She bought this stuff and she uses this stuff. It's almost like Polish soy sauce. I forget. I bought it and it didn't come out the same way, but she like puts a little on it as she's pan frying it. It's ridiculous. I got to get her recipe. Oh, like a cheesecake cheese? No. Mascarpone is a little bit more
like-
granular than
it's in-
cream cheese or new factual cheese.
It's the cheese they use in tiramisu.
Yes. That is correct. It's kind of like ricotta cheese, just smaller curd and a little bit sweeter. So now you're learning something. We're at 11:44. We've gone an hour over. I love this.
Wow, we mean
All right, so let's begin the wind down.
Cool.
Lilabelle, where can you be seen in the recent in the days coming up, and how can we find you on social media?
well, you can find me. I'm Lilabelle Quaintrelle in some variation everywhere. So it's Lilabelle Quaintrelle on Facebook. On Instagram, it is at Quaintrelle Lilabelle. On Tumblr, it's Lilabelle Quaintrelle. On Flickr, it's Lilabelle Quaintrelle. On Twitter, it's Lilabelle Q, I think. You can find me next. I am assisting in production for the entertainment of a Project No Labels second annual Pride Legacy Awards, which is
Nice.
happening March 21st in Tampa. That's really exciting because it's going to be a benefit show for their new mental health program. Project No Labels is a LGBTQ plus charity that's based in St. Petersburg, and they have launched a partnership with a certified mental health therapist to help connect members of our community with safe and affordable therapy.
Nice.
So this event, as well as recognizing the members of the community and businesses who are supportive to the LGBTQ community, will serve to benefit for the vouchers and monetary commitment that goes into making therapy more accessible
Nice.
to our community. So that's really
awesome.
exciting. I think April 25th, I have a show in St. Petersburg with Sheba, Queen of the Night. I regularly go dance at Gaspar's Grotto with Nicole Iolio.
Hello.
And if you keep an eye out on my social media, here's the really important thing.
Oh, the one you almost forgot?
Burley Picks, Florida Burley Picks. Burley Picks is an international burlesque competition. It is not limited to burlesque, so it does include drag, comedy, circus, sideshow. Any kind of live performance art is included in Burley Picks in the competition.
When?
So the Florida regional qualifier is happening June 18th, and that is going to be at Honey Pot in Tampa. So we're really excited to be at Honey Pot because we are going to be able to accommodate a lot of different kind of performers. So if anybody has like fire performance or aerial or trapeze or pole or anything really exciting like that, we're going to be able to accommodate that for you so you can compete. And applications close. Let me look it up. I just said it in Messenger earlier today. Applications close May 7th. So you have over a month, almost 2 months to apply to compete in Burley Picks. If you win Master, there's a variety of categories like Master of Amazement, Master of Comedy, Master of Nerdlesque, Master of tassels, which includes tassels anywhere on your body. So assholes, tassels, elbow tassels, whatever, wherever you want to put a tassel and spin it.
We're fucking going.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Master of Amazement, Master of Lip Sync, Master of Collaboration if you have a group number. If you win Master in any of those categories, then you can go on to compete at an international level. Internationals are going to be in Utah this year.
Wow, it's so exotic.
Yeah, so
Wait a second. How the fuck are you going to have an event like that in Mormon Central? How's that happen?
We got hooked up with an amazing
Shit.
theater. And I don't think it's in Salt Lake. I think it's
Okay.
in a different area of Utah.
What, the whole
Because there's a
state?
whole state.
Well, yeah, but there's not that many people in that state, and they're all Mormon.
Fair. The theater is beautiful. I've seen pictures of the theater, and
That's awesome.
it's just drop dead gorgeous. And actually, Alistair Graves is going to be hosting.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, he's going to
I know that
host
guy.
the regional here, and then he's going to go on to host the international level competition in Utah as
Nice.
well.
I totally want to go.
Yeah.
Totally want to go.
Yeah. It's really exciting. If you're an industry person and you're interested in attending, we are going to have like a pre-show toast where you're going to get like a complimentary, probably like a little bit of champagne or something to toast with us.
Nice.
And just celebrate people in the community supporting other people in the community.
Nice.
We're looking for the best of the best in Tampa Bay and all across the state of Florida to come and compete to represent our state on an international level. If you are feeling like you would like to be involved somehow, but maybe not necessarily ready to compete at that level, then we are also looking for volunteers. So if you want to volunteer, just message me on Facebook, Lilabelle Quaintrelle, and say that you're interested in volunteering for Burley Picks, and we'll work you in.
Sweet. Nicole Olio.
Si, senor. Where can you find me?
Yes.
This
You know the
Friday,
drill. You've done it once or twice.
this Friday the 13th, you can find me belly dancing at Acropolis in South Tampa from 7 to 9:30 p.m. And I will be go-go dancing at Marquee in St. Pete. And I'd like to also give a shout out to Annie Locke, who told us that our show is going on this Friday, as well as 5 Star Dive Bar in Ybor. I know we're not talking to her right now, but here we are. And also, I just wrote it down on my calendar. Also on the 14th, I will be go-go dancing for Scream Machine at the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Ybor at Gaspar's Grotto alongside Miss Holly Havoc. And then next week, you can also find me at Gaspar's Grotto and Marquee on Friday and Saturday, respectively. And on the 27th, I will be go-go dancing at Woody's Tavern in Hollywood, Florida. And then on Saturday, performing for Submission South Beach in Miami on Saturday, March 28th with Mr. Robert Frost, who we have had as a guest here on the Internet Fubar Show.
Nice.
Hooray for fetish events.
Yay, hooray for fetish events. I'm so glad
Yay.
that he invited me to perform with him over in Miami. So, and I will be making other various appearances in South Florida between the 26th and the 30th of March. Just random places. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a comedy thing that my friend had me do on the 29th at Kill Your Idol in Miami as well. So, other than that, I will be at your local Carrollwood Barnes & Noble slinging books and coffee forever until the day I die. So just come find me there. You can also follow me on Instagram at NIKOLE_Raven. That's Nicole_Raven on Instagram, and by the same name on Facebook, which I hate.
Yeah.
Sorry, I need a little extra salt with my margarita today.
All right. As for me, I'm taking the month of March off, maybe taking part of April off, and my the show that I had on the boat down in down in Sarasota, that has been canceled. So don't worry about that shit. So as of right now, I'm wide open. So book my ass after the second week of April. That's what's going on. I got a lot going on in the day job. Okay. All right, Maddie, I got you. Yeah, so follow me on social media at Real Roger Nelson on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Pony Express, your sister's ass. Thanks, Vic DiBattista. Yeah, wash your fucking hands. Wash your ass. We're talking about washing hands. Wash your ass too, because that's probably dirty.
Yeah, hygiene.
Yeah,
People.
yeah, seriously. Nobody wants a dirty fucking anus, especially if it's on a chihuahua.
Thank you. I just
bless
sneezed.
you.
I should go wash my hands now. Kidding.
Here, have some sanitizer.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's the show. That's the show, kids. I almost apologize for going over, but it was a great show. So thank you for coming in, Lilabelle.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. We do this every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time here in the United States. And yeah, don't forget to spay or neuter your children.
Fubar out.